ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome to all of you for today's session. Today we are going to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 5th chapter from beginning. In yesterday's class, we have discussed so Mother Sati came to Daksha's sacrificial arena. Daksha didn't respect her properly, and that's why she got hurted. And also, she observed that Daksha didn't give any share to Lord Shiva in that sacrifice. So, out of all these insults, so she decided, so she cannot tolerate that. So, insult of Lord Shiva, and she doesn't want to continue her body, and she doesn't want to continue her relationship with the Daksha. So, that's why she decided to leave her body. Before that, leaving her body, she also gave that means proper reply to Daksha. Daksha was thinking that Shiva is a beggar and not having any kind of good etiquette and good behavior. But actually, the real state of Shiva is Atmarama state. So, being Atmarama, he doesn't need to follow any rules and regulations as per Pravritti Marga or otherwise Nivritti Marga. And she clarified that. And also, Daksha might be so much proud of his wealth, but compared to him, Lord Shiva is having so much opulence which is uncomparable, which is not known to even Daksha also, like Prema at the Lord's lotus feet, such a things Shiva is having, which are far, far unimaginable actually for Daksha. Like that, she clarified. Then after that, so she sat in a asana to get a fire on her body. So she pull out the life air from the lower chakras to the Brukuti, and then finally she invited the fire, such a vayu, so which can burn the body. Then finally she finished her body. Then this news was spread everywhere, and by seeing this situation, the followers of Shiva they try to attack on those Brahmanas, but by that time Bhrigu created Ribhavas, some kind of dev- devatas, soldiers were created by Bhrigu, and they made these they made the followers of Shiva to not to enter into the sacrificial arena. So after that, what happened? That means all the servants of Shiva ran away by seeing this army, which is created by Guru. Then later after that, what happened? We are going to discuss in this fifth chapter actually. So this chapter is very simple and easy chapter, not having much purports and also commentary. We'll finish this. If possible, we'll try to do something in sixth chapters. It's not much is having actually. It will take maximum 1 hour by 8 o'clock. Let us see. मैत्रेय उवाच भवो भवान्या निधनं प्रजापते असत्कृताय अवगम्य नारदात् स्वपार्षदसैन्यं च तदद्वरभुभिर्विद्रावितं क्रोधमपारमाददे. Maitreya said, when Lord Shiva heard from Narada that Sati, his wife, was now dead because of Prajapati Dakṣa's insult to her, and that his soldiers had been driven away by the Ribhu demigods, he became greatly angry. So this news taken forward, that means Sati's death was taken forward by Narada Muni to Lord Shiva. We will read the purport. Lord Shiva understood that Sati, being the youngest daughter of Dakṣa, could present the case of Lord Shiva's purity of purpose and would thus be able to mitigate the misunderstanding between Dakṣa and himself. But such a compromise was not attained, and Sati was deliberately insulted by her father by not being received properly when she visited his house without being invited. She tried actually up to her best to mitigate the difference between son-in-law and father-in-law, but she failed actually. So Sati herself could have killed her father, Dakṣa, because she is the personified material energy and has immense power to kill and create within his material universe. In the Brahma Samhita, her strength is described. She is capable of creating and dissolving many universes. But although she is so powerful, she acts under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna as his shadow. That's why Maya always resides the backside of the Lord actually. She never come in front of the Lord because she feels shy actually. What is the reason for feeling shy? Because she is entrapping the jivas, which are part and parcel of Lord. So that's why she is not feeling so good for her activity and she is not able to come in front of the Lord. So that's why jivas are always, that means those jivas who don't turn towards the Lord, those are all will be, that means they are not turned towards, means they are in the backside of the jiva, means they are always in the trap of Maya. So it's like this. Maya is not actually really, if you see, even Vishwanath Chakra Thakur also writes in the commentary. So Maya is not doing anything. Only thing is Jiva is not coming in front actually, in front of the Lord. Jiva is not turning towards the Lord. What Maya is doing actually. Maya is always resides backside to the Lord. This is Lord if you take, and she is always in the backside. And Jivas towards the Lord, these are all Jivas turned towards him. And those will never affected by Maya. But who are asking you to be here? So come here, and there will be no Maya. That's your problem. That's not the Maya problem, actually. And Maya will be always in the background. She's not coming and chasing you and standing in, and also you are turning towards, and she's not pulling you. When you turn towards him, She is not at all. She will be not at all influencing them actually. So if you are in the darkness and not able to see the things, then that is your problem. And one cannot blame Maya also. No. So that is a jiva. That's why has to turn towards the Lord by the mercy of Vaishnavas, and so that jivas doesn't need to claim the things which are not doing he himself. Prakrute kriyamana niguna karmani sarvashaha. Ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. And the pain is to the material body. Why you are feeling that I am getting pain? That is simply it's an illusion actually. So she is always backside to the Lord and she is in the control of the Lord. Prakriti. So Mayadhyakshena suyate Prakriti Sacharacharam. So she is always functions under the direction of the Lord. It would not have been difficult to Sati to punish her father, but she thought that since she was his daughter, it was not proper for her to kill him. Thus she decided to give up her own body. So next year, when Sati passed away, giving up her body, the news was conveyed by Narada to Lord Shiva. Narada always carries the news of such events because he knows that he knows they're important. So that Leela can happen nicely. Ultimately, in every Leela, Lord only will be established, Vishnu only. That is going to happen. So here also we are going to see Lord Vishnu. Everyone come to him only finally. So they all worship him, even Shiva, Brahma, everything. So when Lord Shiva heard that his chaste wife Sati was dead, he naturally became exceedingly angry. So we already have seen. Of course, Shiva is Atmarama state, but sometimes when he forgot to relate himself as Parameshwara, so in that state, what will happen? He will be coming in so contact with the modes or the feelings created by the Tamoguna. So for a while actually, and that's why he's not struck by those feelings all the time. No, so for a while, and so that can happen actually in the case of Lord Shiva. So he also understood that Bhrugumuni had created the Ribhu Deva demigod. And also here Shiva says why he behaved and angry, and also he is creating the Virabhadra, and then he is going to, he is nothing but the another extension form of Lord Shiva, and he will be punishing Dakṣa and all. So Shiva will explain that this I am doing out of concern only, because some people are doing this so much offensive. So to correct them only, I do punish, but I don't have any kind of angry or any kind of these things. So like Lord Shiva clarifies in the further sections. So here he also understood that Bhrugumuni had created the Ribhu demigods by uttering the mantras of the Yajurveda, and that these demigods, like in the mantras in the Vedas are there, you can create the Ribhu Devatas and soldiers also, you can create the Tantric also. Using the Tantra also, you can create demons also, you can create. You can do the black magic. These are all explained in the Atharva Veda. So Abhichara Yoga. That means if sometimes king is not able to control the enemy, then in that case, Abhichara Yoga means some kind of black magic also can be played. But if one does very little wrong, then the reaction will be there for everyone. It's a heavy punishment will be given. So like this, in the Vedas, various potencies are there, various mantras are there which can do many things. So demigods had driven away all of his soldiers who were present in the arena of sacrifice. Therefore, he wanted to reply this insult, and thus he decided to kill Dakṣa because he was the cause of the death of Sati. Kruddha. You have a question? He created demigods. Yes. But when Shiva created his demon. Yeah. Why he is creating demon? This person is creating demigods. It's the Brahminical potency. That's a Shakta. That's a Shaiva potency. That means Shiva Shakti and it's a Brahma Shakti. Brahma Shakti created the demigods. Shiva Shakti created. Is in charge of Tamoguna. So that's a Shiva Shakti produces costly forms. Kruddha Sudashtaushtaputa Sadurjati Jutam Taditvahni Satograrochisham Utkrutya Rudra Sahasotito Hasan Gambhiranado Visasarjatam Bhuvi. Thus, Lord Shiva, being extremely angry, pressed his lips with his teeth and immediately snatched from his head a strand of hair which blazed like electricity of fire. He stood up at once, laughing like a madman, and dashed the hair to the ground. ततोतिकायस्तनुवा स्पृशन् दिवम् सहस्रबाहुर्घनरुक्त्रिसूर्यदृक् करालदंष्ट्रो जलदग्निमूर्धजः कपालमाली विविधोद्यतायुधः. A fearful black demon, as high as the sky and as bright as three suns combined, was thereby created, his teeth very fearful, and the hairs on his head like a burning fire. He had thousands of arms, equipped with various weapons, and he was garlanded with the heads of men. Not the skull, actually, huh? Men directly, heads are there. Directly heads are there, and so many hands, and so black face, and a lot of big hair and big teeth, and is like bright like three suns combined. Black demon and bright also. Black bright, actually bright black. So he is nothing but Veerabhadra. Even in the villages they worship this form, Veerabhadra form. In Andhra Pradesh, some villages that farm is more attractive for them, actually. Yeah. Mm. They are in the most of the people are like that only, bro, in our side. Yeah. I have seen the villages, and they worship Kali. Even in the Bengal, you can see in the farm. Actually, sometimes they take in that like in the trolley, na, actually. Small pandals they make, and they keep, and they worship Kali Puja. That form is very ferocious form, actually, ghostly and difficult to see also, actually. So based upon the modes, the form, Lord is facilitating. Anyway, Lord Shiva is so kind enough to attract everyone. And Lord Shiva is worshipped by Vaishnavas, and Lord Shiva is worshipped by even the people in the mode of ignorance. Everyone approach him. That's the greatness of Lord Shiva. तं किं करोमीति गृणन्तमः भक्ताञ्जलिं भगवान् भूतनादः दक्षं स यज्ञं जहि मद्भटानां त्वमग्रणीरुद्रभटां शको मे. When that gigantic demon asked with folded hands, "What shall I do, my lord?" Lord Shiva, who is known as Bhutanada, directly ordered, "Because you are born from my body, you are the chief of all my associates. Therefore, kill Dakṣa and his soldiers at the sacrifice." Here, the beginning of the competition between Brahma Tejas and Shiva Tejas. So, Bhrugu's Brahma Tejas, Shiva's Shiva Tejas. Now there is a fight. Brahma Tejas, Brahmanical strength, Bhrigu had created the Ribu demigods who had driven away the soldiers of Lord Shiva stationed in the arena. When Lord Shiva heard that his soldiers had been driven away, he created the tall black demon Veerbhadra to retaliate. There is sometimes a competition between the mode of goodness and the mode of ignorance. That is the way of material existence. Well, that means sometimes Lord favors the mode of goodness, sometimes Lord favors the mode of ignorance, sometimes Lord favors the mode of passion. And accordingly, now mode of ignorance is favored very much. So that's why Topi Wale is doing so much. So it happens actually. And it will go for some 1 century, 2 centuries. Then after that, once again, so mode of goodness is favored, and once again the good people will be taking the charge and everything. And once again, some 200, 300 years they'll be there, and passion will be favored. This, like this, he is favoring all the modes in the different times, and so that everything is balanced. So that is a maintenance duty he does, so that all the modes are favored in different situations, so that whole creation is in balance, then everything is came to end, then he will finish us like that. And that's why we should not so much hesitated by the social things. We should always focus on pure devotional service. This is most important actually. Because of the influence of the modes, sometimes you'll be seeing the favor, that means Lord favoring the ignorance and demons becoming so superior, and we should not invest so much time there actually. Discussing those topics. Oh, what is happening? What is this is happening? That is happening. And no, actually we should focus on our devotees and their community, that's all, and their protection. And our devotion and our devotees' protection, that's all. That much only we should focus, and we should not too much into the so-called social uh, changes and the news, this kind of things. This will always goes on actually. Now Brahma is 100 years. How many Kali Yugas will come? How many times, how many modes are changing, and so differently situations are formed actually. I say, of course, we are only reactive for the protection of devotees. That's all. Nothing else. We don't want anything else. We don't want to retaliate, or we don't want to help, or we are not the people, so the controllers of this. So we are all just followers of Krishna and Krishna's devotees protection. That is ours. So that my point is, we should not get disturbed, but we always see that mode of goodness helps to the devotees, so progress in their devotion. So definitely we desire for that, and we always remember that Lord is there behind all these things, and He is the real controller, and we should not too disturbed actually. Sometimes we leave the bhakti and we are driven away and on these topics, and sometimes we feel that, oh, what will happen, what will happen, and now this is happening, these people are becoming superior and strength they are getting, and what will happen, so much hesitation. No, that should not be there. So there is sometimes a competition between the mode of goodness and the mode of ignorance. That is the way material existence. Even when one is situated in the mode of goodness, there is every possibility that his position will be mixed with or attacked by the mode of passion or ignorance. That is the law of material nature. That means sometimes you can see defeat of the people who are in the mode of goodness also. That is a law actually. That's the law of material nature. It keeps on happening. Although pure goodness or Suddha Sattva is the basic principle in the spiritual world, pure manifestation of goodness is not possible in this material world. Thus, that means you cannot make this material world completely transcendental or completely happy. That means only all the time happiness. Goodness always gives happiness. That means everyone in the mode of goodness, and all the time that mode only is prevailing. That is not possible actually in this material world. So there is a struggle actually. Thus, the struggle for existence between the different material qualities is always present. This quarrel between the Lord Shiva and Bhrigu Muni, centering around the Prajapati Dakṣa, is the practical example of such a competition between the different qualitative modes of material nature. Definitely, we favor the mode of goodness, but this is natural. It is not in our control. It keep on happening. So that is a fact, and that has to be remembered all the time. And our main focus is serving Krishna and devotees. आज्ञप्त एवं कुपितेन मन्युना सदेव देवं परिचक्रमे विभुं मेने तदात्मानमसङ्गरंहसा महीयसां तात सहिष्णुम्. Maitreya continue, my dear Vidura, that black person was the personified anger of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he was prepared to execute the orders of Lord Shiva. Thus, considering himself capable of coping with any power offered against him, he circumambulated Lord Shiva. That Veerabhadra circumambulated Lord Shiva. Then, Anmiyamana Saturudra Pashadair Brusham Nadadhirvyanadat Subhairavam उद्यम्य शूलं जगदान्तकान्तकं सम्प्रादवद्घोषणभूषणाङ्घ्रिः. Many other soldiers of Lord Shiva followed the fierce personality in a tumultuous uproar. He carried a great trident, fearful enough to kill even the death, and on his legs he wore bangles which seemed to roar. So big personality and black color, and also having hundreds of hands, and so ferocious eyes, and having a big trident, Trishula. And he is walking, and all the followers of Shiva got the strength actually. Our leader is with us. Now you see the fighting, how it is going to happen. It's a weapon. I don't know the logic behind, but it is a, I know as a weapon. Sure. अथर्विजो अथर्विजो यजमान सदस्या ककुब्यदीचां प्रसमीक्ष रेणुं तमः किमेतत्कुत एतद्रजो भू दिति द्विजा द्विजपत्न्यश्च दद्युः. At the time, all the persons assembled in that sacrificial arena, the priest, the chief of the sacrificial performance, and the brahmanas and their wives, wondered where the darkness was coming from. Later, they could understand that it was the dust storm, and all of them were full of anxiety. And all these are coming, so a lot of dust is rising actually. वातानवान्ति न हि सन्ति दस्यवः प्राचीन बर्हिर्जीवति होग्रदण्डा गावो न काल्यन्त इदं कृतो जनजो लोकोऽधुना किं प्रलयाय कल्पते. Conjecturing the origin of the storm, they said. So they are speculating on that storm type actually. They're rising in the dust, raising the dust and something its situation. They are guessing like this. All these Dijapatnis, that means Brahmanas' wives, and also Prasuti and others, Daksha's wife, and everything. They are thinking there is no wind blowing and no cows are passing, nor it is possible that this dust storm could be raised by plunderers. For there is still the strong, for there is still the strong King Bari, who would punish them. So where is this dust storm blowing from? Is the dissolution of the planet now to occur? That means, actually, when the dust rages, if the cows are going, dust may rage, but cows are not going, and also wind also is not blowing. Otherwise, if wind blows, then dust will raise. Wind is also not blowing, and also, so generally, if many plunderers they go with the horses, some 100 or 200 plunderers they want to. Usually, the plunderers, that means thieves, they will be attacking on the villages and looting everything. So generally, it happens like that. If plunderers goes also because of their so horses and their movements, so like this, there is a rise in the dust. But at that time, who was there? King Prachina Barhi is still alive. That means it is happening in the sixth Manvantara actually. So King Prachinabari is still alive, then they are thinking that Prachinabari is there means there is no possibility of plunderers because he is a powerful king and he will punish all the plunderers. So that means for rising of this dust, plunderers also not cause. Then what can be the cause? So from where this dust is coming? So and is it from because of the dissolution like that? They are thinking actually all these wives of Brahmanas and others. Uh, uh. Well, once again take there also. This yajna is happening that much after that much later. We are getting it. Yes. That is also six. This yajna is happening. Actually, Dakṣa from the beginning is there, Swayambhu Manu. This yajna is happening that much later actually. This incident. Uh, huh?
Sixth person is good and Iskcon.
Once again, he comes once again. Pracheta's son actually, no?
Yes, so after charge of the dynasty.
No, actually, here Prachina Barhi comes in the sixth Manvantara. Actually, Acharya is writing. I am not saying actually. So I don't know that reason you are saying.
Second birth is
Second birth in sixth Manvantara. Pracheta's son.
like
I have to see that. I don't. So Prachin, that's why Idanim Tanmanvantari. Like next once again, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur also clarifies. So this is sixth Manvantara. Idanim Manvantara is sixth Manvantara is the Chakshasuman. So this yajna is happening in that Manvantara time. Anyway, six Manvantaras for them is very less time only. So even it's not the half day of the Brahmaji. It's less than the half day.
usually in comment, lots you are getting again counteracting what is happening.
It's written, it is here.
Now here in the second, third verse, is it mentioned so? I mean, what is the, how it is defended the anger of Lord Shiva, in other words. Just because his wife.
Yeah. Because Lord comes under the contact of modes certain times. We discussed, na? So Lord Shiva also, you are asking this question only, na? That means Lord Shiva, how he is getting anger and what is the reason like that?
Probably.
Yeah. So Lord Shiva also comes in touch with the modes of nature actually. So he comes in the modes of passion, ignorance. When he stop relating himself as Parameshwara, Parameshwaratva ananusandhanat. So then at that time, the qualities which are arising from the ignorance, and he has this Sanyog Sambandha, and for a while he may be get inflicted by those moods and also those feelings. Soka Moha, he may be, that's also, but Abhasa only we consider him because he is not affected for a long, only for some time. And immediately he relates himself as Parameshwara and he went back into his original position. But in the case of Lord, this kind of Soka Moha, those are all not out of the mode of ignorance, but they are out of the Prema actually. That we discussed. So, and also here, Lord is, I already repeated, I already said actually in the starting. Lord Shiva is also why he is getting all this. He is going to kill this Dakṣa and his followers because he wants to give a punishment to them so that they will be corrected actually in their character. So that is the reason. Specifically significant in this verse is Prachina Barhir Jivati. The king of that part of the land was known as Barhi. And although he was old, he was still living. And he was very strong ruler. There was no possibility of an invasion by thieves and plunderers. Indirectly, it is stated here that thieves, plunderers, robbed, and unwanted population can exist only in a state or kingdom where there is no strong ruler. When in the name of justice these thieves are allowed liberty, the state and kingdom are disturbed by such a plunderers and unwanted population. The dust storm created by the soldiers and assistants of Lord Shiva resembled the situation at the time of the dissolution of this world. When there is a need of, so actually here Prabhupada is mainly highlighting if there is no strong king, then unwanted population will be there in the society. But when there is a strong king will be there, then automatically he will punish them or otherwise kill them who are not required for the society, so that there will be no further sin in the society. So now present situation actually, see here Prabhupada is writing, thieves are allowed liberty. So for justice and For getting justice, we are getting the years and years. Sometimes lifetimes also goes away. And still there is a person who is he is a mischief and who is accused, and that person he is not getting punishment and he is escaping also like that. So such a situation, that means there is a weak ruling actually that will lead to the disturbance, unwanted population in the society, and it will create the disturbance. The dust storm created by the soldiers and assistants of the Lord Shiva resembled the situation at the time of the dissolution of this world. When there is a need for the dissolution of the material creation, this function is conducted by Lord Shiva. Therefore, the situation now created by him resembled the dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. प्रसूतिमिश्रा स्त्रिय उद्विग्नचित्ता ऊचुर्विपाको वृजिनस्यैव तस्या यत्पश्यन्तीनां दुहितॄणां प्रजेशः सुतां सतीम् अवद्य अवदद्य अवनागाम्. Prasuti, the wife of Daksha, along with the other women assembled, became very anxious and said, "This danger has been created by Dakṣa because of death of Sati, who, even though completely innocent, put her body as her sister looked on." So mother in front of mother, so her daughter is burning in the fire. So it caused a great pain to her actually. Prasuti, being a soft-hearted woman, woman's heart is generally soft only. So on top of that, she is losing her child actually. Could immediately understand that the imminent danger approaching, which due to the impious activity of hard-hearted Prajapati Daksha. Generally, male are not soft-hearted. So Daksha doesn't have any compassion towards her, his daughter actually. She is approaching for getting fire for suicide. He didn't come and stop. He was so cruel actually that he would not save her youngest daughter, Sati, from the act of committing suicide in the presence of her sisters. Sati's mother could understand how much Sati had been pained by the insult of her father. Sati had been present along with the other daughters, and Daksha had purposefully received all of them, but her, pur- her because, but her because she happened to be the wife of Lord Shiva. He showed the partiality actually because of his enviousness towards the Lord Shiva. This consideration convinced the wife of Daksha of the danger which was now ahead. That's why Prasuti understood that he did wrong, her husband did wrong, and she is guessing that some danger is going to come. And thus she knew that Daksha must be prepared to die for his heinous act. यस्त्वन्तकाले व्युक्तजटाकलापः स्वशूलसूच्यर्पितदिग्गजेन्द्रः वितत्य नृत्युदितास्रजोध्वज नृच्चाटहासंस्तननयुत्स्नुभिन्नदिक्. At the time of dissolution, Lord Shiva's hair is scattered, and you pierce the rulers of the different directions with his trident. He laughs and dances proudly, scattering the hands like flags, as thunder scatters the clouds all over the world. Prasuti, who appreciated the power and strength of her son-in-law, Lord Shiva, is describing what he does at the time of dissolution. This description indicates that strength of Lord Shiva is so great that Daksha's power couldn't be set in comparison to it. At the time of dissolution, Lord Shiva, with his trident in hand, dances over the rulers of the different planets, and his hair is scattered just as the clouds are scattered over all the directions in order to plunge the different planets into incessant torrent of rains. in the last phase of dissolution, all the planets become inundated with water, and that inundation is caused by the dancing of Lord Shiva. This dance is called the Pralaya dance, or dance of dissolution. So, out of ignorance, actually, is the ignorance is the in charge of destruction. So, he controls this ignorance and mode of passion, and with the help of mode of passion, he will finish everything. Prasuti could understand that the dangers ahead resulted not only from Daksha's having neglected her daughter, but also because of his neglecting the prestige and honor of Lord Shiva. अमर्षयित्वा तमसः यतेजसं मन्युप्लुतं दुर्निरीक्ष्यं रुक्वट्या करालदंष्ट्रबिरुदस्तभागणं स्यास्वस्ति किं कोपयतो विधातुः. The gigantic black man bared his fearful teeth. By the movements of his brows, he scattered the luminaries all over the sky, and he covered them with his strong, piercing effulgence. Because of the misbehavior of Daksha, even Lord Brahma, Daksha's father, couldn't have been saved from the great exhibition of anger. Anyway, so Brahmaji is not there actually. Brahma and Vishnu, they didn't come there. They know the stupidity of Daksha and they didn't come there. From the beginning, they are not there. बह्वीवमुद्विग्नदृशोच्यमाने जनेन दक्षस्य मुहुर्महात्मनः उत्पेतुरुत्पाततमः सहस्रशो भयावहादिवि भूमौ च पर्यक्त. While all the people talked amongst themselves, Daksha saw dangerous omens from all sides, from the earth and from the sky. Actually, in this verse, Daksha is explained as Mahatma. Muhur Mahatmanaha, Dakshasya Mahatmanaha. So, why Mahatmanaha is explained, why it is given. The meaning of Mahatmana. Mahatmana word is used for Daksha. What kind of Mahatma he is? So, Prabhupada is explaining from the various commentaries. There are the two commentaries, Veeragavacharya commentary and Viswanath commentary. So, he is writing in the purport. In this verse, Daksha has been described as Mahatma. The word Mahatma has been commented upon by different commentators in various manners. Veeraragavacharya has indicated that this word Mahatma means steady in heart. Till now, there is no repenting actually in his heart. Still, he is standing on his own opinion. Yes, Shiva is wrong. That is to say that Daksha was so strong-hearted that even when his beloved daughter was prepared to lay down her life, he was steady and unshaken. But in spite of his being so strong-hearted, he was perturbed when he saw the various disturbances created by the gigantic black demon. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura remarks in this connection that even if one is called Mahatma, a great soul, unless he exhibits the symptoms of Mahatma, he should be considered as Duratma, a degraded soul. So Mahatma and Duratma in the Bhagavad Gita said about that. Last line. The word Mahatma to describe the qualification of Daksha used sarcastically.
First, what is the ruler of direction?
Dikpalakas. That means when Veerabhadra was just raising his eyebrows, then what Dikpalakas also they got feared. They got fear and Ashtadikpalakas will be there, na? Various there. Luminaries and all, that means different stars, they all got feared actually. They got fear. तावत् सरुद्रानुचरैर्महामको नानायुधैर्वामनकैरायु वामनकैरुदायुधैः पिङ्गैः पिशङ्गैः मकरोदराननैः पर्याद्रवद्भिर्विदुरान्वरुन्ध्यत. My dear Vidura, all the followers of Lord Shiva surrounded the arena of sacrifice. Now all the got the strength actually. They surrounded the entire arena, the followers of Shiva. They was of short stature and were equipped with various kinds of weapons. Their bodies appeared to be like those of sharks, blackish and yellowish. They ran all around the sacrificial arena and thus began to create disturbance. केचित् बभुञ्जुः प्रग केचित् बभुञ्जुः प्रध्वंसं पत्नीशालां तथा परे तदाग्निद्रशालां च तद्विहारं मानसम्. Some of the soldiers pulled down the pillars which were supporting the pandal of sacrifice. Some of them entered the female quarters. Some began destroying the sacrificial arena, and some entered the kitchen and the residential quarters. Yeah, they are all products of ignorance, the followers in the influenced by mode of ignorance. So they disturb women, also that means teasing them, destroying the sacrificial arena, kitchen, everything, polluting. So same thing. So who are influenced by mode of ignorance will be doing that. Same thing. Whatever we have seen in Bangladesh, same thing will be seen here. रुरुजुर्यज्ञपात्राणि तथैकेऽग्निना नाशयन् कुण्डेष्वमुत्रयन् केचित् विविधुर्वेदिमेखलाः. They broke all the pots made for use in sacrifice, and some of them began to extinguish the sacrificial fire. Some tore down the boundary line of the sacrificial arena, and some passed urine on the arena. This also they did, no, actually. They are representatives, actually. This is there eternally, it will be there. It will be there, and sometimes mode of passion dominates, sometimes ignorance, sometimes goodness. This will be there in the society, in this creation, in this nature. It's a fundamental rule. We should not get disturbed by those things so much. It's a very rare opportunity to do bhakti. Of course, definitely we should always think for the protection of our devotees, not for the mitigating these modes and want to become the controller of the modes. It's not possible. We cannot control the modes. Luckily, we are in the time when the mode of goodness in the domination will be in the peaceful. Oh, I don't think it is continuing in the YouTube. Streaming is going on? Yes. Huh? this streaming
Yes.
in YouTube. Streaming is going on.
Your channel.
My channel is going on. Or is stop because once disconnected sometimes. Just
Can you tell me?
Golokwani. QLOK space VN is going on. Tell me if it is not going on. So this the fight between domination of these are the modes are the domination of the modes always changes. So now this sacrificial arena is completely going on. And some passed urine on the arena. अबाधन्त मुनीनन्ये एके पत्नीरतर्चयन् अपरे जगृहुर्देवान् प्रत्यासन्नान् पलायितान्. Some blocked the way of the fleeing sages. Some threatened the women assembled there, and some arrested the demigods who were fleeing the pandal. भृगुम्बबन्ध मणिमान् वीरभद्र प्रजापतिम् चण्डैषः पूषणं देवम् अगं नन्दीश्वरो ग्रहीत्. Maniman, one of the follower of Lord Shiva, arrested Bhrugumuni, and Veerabhadra, the black demon, arrested Prajapati Dakṣa. Another follower who was named Chandesha arrested Pusha. Nandishwara arrested the demigod Bhaga. सर्व एवर्त्विजो दृष्ट्वा सदस्या सदिवैकसः तैरर्यमानः सुभृशं ग्रावभिर्नैकदा प्रवन्. There was a continuous shower of stones, and all the priests and other members assembled at the sacrifice were put into immense misery. For fear of their lives, they dispersed in different directions. Yes. So everything is as it is. They burnt actually. They burnt everything. They burnt and the pillars they throw out and removing the banners, everything. And yeah, urinating and everything.
And his associates.
His associates, because they are not understanding his Vaishnavism. They worship him as their ultimate supreme personality of Godhead. That's their problem. That's why they are all what we say, Pashandis, atheist. These are also they only actually. It's a branch of that actually. They also worship so-called worship very strictly, but simply like that. At the put immense misery for fear of their lives, they dispersed in different directions. Juhvatuh sruvastasya smashruni bhagavan bhava Bhrugo lulanche sadasi yoha satsmashru darshayan. Veerabhadra tore off the mustache of Bhrugu. Tore off the hood. Who was offering the sacrificial oblations with his hands in the fire. भगस्य नेत्रे भगवान् पाति तस्यारुषा भुवि उज्जहार सदस्तोक्ष्ण यः शपन्तमसु सुचत् असुसूचत्. Veerabhadra immediately caught Bhaga, who had been moving his eyebrows during Bhrugu's cursing of Lord Shiva, and out of great anger thrust him to the ground and forcibly put out his eyes. दोनों आंखों को निकाल के Bhaga. You should remember, huh? So Bhaga's eyes are removed, Bhrugu's mustache is torn out, and Pusha's Pusho hyapata yadhantan कालिंगस्य यथा बलः सेप्यमाने गरिमाणि यो सद्दर्शयदन्त. Just as Baladev knocked out the teeth of Dantavakra, the king of Kalinga, during the gambling match at the marriage ceremony of Aniruddha, Veerabhadra knocked out the teeth of both Dakṣa, who had shown them while cursing Lord Shiva, and Pusha, who, by smiling sympathetically, had also shown his teeth. Pusha's teeth were removed out. Dakshas also. Here a reference is made to the marriage of Aniruddha, a grandson of Lord Krishna's. He kidnapped daughter of Dantavakra, and thereafter he was arrested. Just as he was to punish for the kidnapping, the soldiers from Dantavakra arrived, headed by Balaram. Sorry, the soldiers from Dwarka arrived, headed by Balaram, and a fight ensued amongst the Kshatriyas. This sort of fight was very common, especially during marriage ceremonies, when everyone was in a challenging spirit. In that challenging spirit, a fight was sure to occur, and in such fights, there was commonly killing and misfortune. After finishing such fighting, the parties would come to a compromise and everything would be settled. This Daksha Yajna was similar to such events. Now all of them, Daksha and the demigods Bhaga and Pusha and Bhrugumuni, were punished by the soldiers of Lord Shiva, but later everything would come to a peaceful end. So the spirit of fighting between one another was not exactly inimical, because everyone was so powerful and wanted to show his strength by Vedic mantra or mystic power. All these fighting skills were very elaborately exhibited by the different parties at the Dakṣa Yajna.
Buddha had kidnapped daughter of Banasur.
Banasur actually. Maybe this is also there, huh? Don't, joking.
Gambling.
याद नहीं तो मुझे याद नहीं देखते we'll see later. आक्रम्योरसि दक्षस्य सितधारेण हेतिना चिन्धन्नपि तदुत्तर्तुं नाशक्नोत् त्र्यम्बकस्तदा. Then Veerbhadra, the giant-like personality, sat on the chest of Daksha and tried to separate his head from his body with sharp weapon, but was unsuccessful. शस्त्रैरस्त्रान्वितैर् एवं शस्त्रैरस्त्रैरन्वितैरेवम् अनिर्भिन्न त्वचं हरः विस्मयं परमापन्नो तद्यौ पशुपतिश्चिरम्. He tried to cut the head of Daksha with hammers as well as weapons, but still it was hard to cut even the surface of the skin of Daksha's head. Thus Veerabhadra was exceedingly bewildered. Drishtva samgnapanam yogam pashunam sapatirmakhe yajamana pashokasya kayat tena harachirah. Then Veerabhadra saw the wooden device in the sacrificial arena by which the animals were to have been killed. He took the opportunity of this facility to behead Daksha. उसको लेके there is wooden like some different be like this wooden device to kill the big animals like cows and horses. So that device is used. Using that, he chopped off Daksha's head.
So his skin was not being cut because of his lost head.
Because of his, yeah, he is also performing. Brahma Shakti is there with him. He's a Brahmana. In this connection, it is to be noted that the device used for killing animals in the sacrifice was not designed to facilitate eating their flesh. The killing was specifically intended to give a new life to the sacrificed animals by the power of Vedic mantra. The animals were sacrificed to test the strength of Vedic mantras. Yagnas were performed as a test of the mantra. Prabhupada writes this in many purposes. So whenever they give sacrifice animals in the yajna, that is only to test the mantras, or otherwise to give the better life for them. So not to eating of those animals. Huh? They will be getting the reaction for that. Like remedies, prashchitta they should do. Prashchitta karma will be there. Prashchitta they will do and they will retaliate that negativity. Yeah.
So as it says that couldn't be killed by sharp limbs, but he was able to get killed by a wooden structure like how do we understand?
This is a special actually device. With this device and adding the mantras, he is able to kill. Yeah. Even in the modern age, tests are executed on animal bodies in the physiology laboratory. Similarly, whether or not the Brahmanas were uttering the Vedic hymns correctly was tested by sacrifice in the arena. On the whole, the animals thus sacrificed were not at all the losers. Some old animals would be sacrificed, but in exchange of their old bodies, they received other new bodies. That was the test of Vedic mantras. Veerbhadra, instead of sacrificing animals with the wooden device, immediately beheaded Daksha to the astonishment of everyone. साधुवादस्तदा तेषां कर्म तत्तस्य पश्यतां भूतप्रेतपिशाचानाम् अन्येषां तद्विपर्ययः. Upon seeing the action of Veerbhadra, the party of Lord Shiva was pleased and cried out joyfully. And all the bhutas, ghosts, and demons that had come made a tumultuous sound. On the other hand, the Brahmanas in charge of the sacrifice cried out in grief at the death of Dakṣa. Bhrigu was so unhappy. Bhrigu mustache is gone. Pusha's teeth is gone. And Bhaga's eyes gone. Because these are the people who are laughing and showing the teeth. So enjoying when Lord Shiva was insulted actually.
Are actually enjoying from it, they get punished more than the person who's actually perpetrating.
He got life. His life is gone. Daksha's life is also gone. Juhuva जुहावैतश्चिरस्तस्मिन् दक्षिणाग्नावमर्षितः तद्देव यजनं दग्ध्वा प्रातिष्ठद्गुह्यकालयम्. Veerbhadra, one second. Veerbhadra then took the head with great anger, threw it into southern side of the sacrificial fire, offering it as an oblation. Daksha's head is burnt out, gone. In this way, the followers of Lord Shiva devastated all the arrangements for sacrifice. After setting a fire to the whole arena, they departed for their master's abode, Kailash. वो भी तो हो गए प्रभु पैर भी हो गए everything is burnt out.
So when this is happening, Lord Shiva is still there in Kailash.
Ah, he only sent. You all go and finish the everything. They should learn lesson. So that's why in this whole episode we are seeing only by being devotees only we are safe. And that is only the concluded actually. So even if you neglect the Lord Vishnu and his devotion, just to follow Vedas and become just a karmi and neglecting the are they offending the devotees, then there will be punishment. And now the Shaivites also, these followers of Shiva, they also got the punishment from the Devatas, Ribhu Devatas initially. So like this, both parties from the beginning we are seeing so are not really safe. Now we'll start the yes.
Actually, we discussed Lord Shiva is the highest Vaishnava. So, like you already told, like the followers of Lord Shiva did not understand the mode.
Yes, yes.
So, like
Understand the position actually.
position. Okay. So
This is-
similarly, like
yeah.
although we associate with the devotee, right? Like if we don't understand their position or mood, we also have chance to get infected by these kind of.
Actually, here Vaishnava. That means if the point is here, the followers of Shiva they don't know that Shiva is Gunavatar of the Lord and Vishnu is the supreme personality of Godhead. And Shiva is always meditating on that Vishnu and he is doing his devotion. So that's why Vishnu is supreme and through him we should get the Vishnu's bhakti, Vishnu bhakti. And we should ask that only. So that kind of understanding they don't have. They see Shiva as supreme personality of Godhead. They were worshipping with devotion only, with love and care, everything. But the wrong thing is, so they are not understanding how Shiva is connected with the Vishnu and what is the relationship between the Vishnu and Shiva. That they don't understand. But you are saying in the case of devotees means if someone is in the family, if someone is Vaishnava, and you are not seeing his Vaishnava quality, that means he is a servant of Vishnu and he is worshipping Vishnu. And if you love him just on the material basis, like just as a father, as a mother, or as a something relationship, and but if you don't understand the position and the his situation, then in that case, what will happen? So they will not be. That means but that Vaishnava, by seeing his mercy, but he by seeing his service, and if he gives the some kripa, then this person will understand. Otherwise, you will not get any kind of devotion actually. But Vaishnavas, they see if someone is serving, even so by seeing this the innocent person and he is not understanding the position, then he will give the devotion to them. The Lord Shiva also, if they worship, that's why gradually they are lifted up. So Shiva will be uh, giving the mercy to them, then they will be upgraded actually from that mode of passion, ignorance to the higher modes, and also in due course of time they can get the devotion also. Huh? Yeah, they want to complete now further. Sacrifice to satisfy Vishnu. That is the main goal. Uh, so sacrifice is meant for Vishnu, and that should happen. Everyone's so that Vishnu is satisfied, everyone will be satisfied. So that universal affairs will intact. Otherwise, universal affairs will not be intact. There will be no rains and no food, nothing. Then problems will. Huh?
I think especially when they saw the sign of the dust storm, why didn't they run away? Save themselves.
Actually, why did they stop? You are asking.
Why did why? But, there was some disturbance in the attack. And they didn't stop this attack. They continued. Like after even this purified the place and they continued. So like when some disturbance is there, can stop this activity and make it attack again. Especially
If you do any karma, so in between, if you start, you will get the reactions. So, pratyavayo na vidyate, neha vikramo. So, in the case of devotion, there is no pratyavaya, even in between if you stop. But in the karma, if you stop in between, then reactions will be there.
whatever happened,
Huh?
like offending the wife.
Offending Vaishnava means how?
That's offended Shiva.
So, but they are not understanding, na? So, Dakṣa is offending Vaishnava. They don't know that. And in that arena, so only the people who are interested in the karma, so they are there. So, they all know that if they stop the karma in between, then there is a reaction only. Pratyavaya means reactions. Only in the case of bhakti, there is no pratyavaya. But in the case of karma, pratyavaya will be there. They cannot stop it actually. So next, sixth chapter. Maitreya Uvacha Atadeva Gana Sarve Rudranikai Parajita Shulapatesha Nistrimsha Gada Parigam Gamudgarai Sanchina Binna Sarvanga Satvi Sabya Bhayakulah Swayambhuve Namaskritya Karsne Netan Nivedayan. All the priests and other members of sacrificial assembly and all the demigods having been defeated by the soldiers of Lord Shiva and injured by weapons like tridents and swords, approached Lord Brahma with great fear. After offering him obeisances, they began to speak in detail of all the events which had taken place. That means what you should understand that Brahmaji is not there in that sacrificial arena. They all after the with the torn limbs, broken limbs, they went to all the devatas went to Brahmaji. Upalabhya puraivetat bhagavanabja sambhavah narayanascha vishwatma na kasyadvaramiyatuhu. Both Lord Brahma and Vishnu had already known that such events would occur in the sacrificial arena of Dakṣa. And knowing beforehand, they didn't go to the sacrifice. Yes, God knows everything. Tada karnya vibhuh praha tejayasi krutagasi kshemaya tatra sa bhuyan na prayena bhuyash bhushatam. When Lord Brahma heard everything from the demigods and the members who had attended the sacrifice, he replied, "You can't be happy in executing a sacrifice if you blaspheme a great personality and thereby offended his lotus feet. You can't have happiness in that way." 1 second, I will be here. Commentary is there. Bubhushata. विभुर ब्रह्मा तेजसी महात्मनि जने कृतागसे कृतम आगह अपराध यस्य तथा भूते सति क्षेमाय स्वकल्याणाय बुभूषतां जिजीविषतां तत्र क्षेमे विषमे स बुभूष जीविषा मा भूयात् न भवतु. These all demigods, they were saying that Daksha was killed. And this news they said. What is the reaction of Brahmaji for this? Yes, it happened. Good. Good only happens. Very good. It's good for Daksha also. जिजीविषताम तत्र क्षेमे विषये सा बुभूषा जिजीविषा मा भूयात् न भवतु. श्री रुद्रे महातेजस्य अपराध विषयीभूते सति अपराधीनां दक्षादीनां मृत म्रियमाण मर्ष्यतां स्वक्षेमाय विषय भोगाद्यर्थं जिजीवशतां सा जिजीविषा मा भवतु इत्यर्थः. That means it happened very good because they are the offenders of Lord Shiva, who is Mahatejasi. He is a powerful man, actually. They all offended him. And after offending, their desire to live is not at all good, actually. And dying, so it's good for them. Swakshemaya. That means it's beneficial for them only. Vishaya bhogadyardam jijivishatam sa jijivisha ma bhavatu. That means living to further enjoyment, sense gratification. This desire, living for further, living desire for living further. This is not good desire actually. Better they should die. Dakshadayo aparadinaha mriyantam nama ma jivantu. They should die. They should not alive. This is the opinion of Brahmaji. So he says like this. Then in the 7th chapter, we see he is requesting Lord Shiva to make him alive. Actually, because if he doesn't, he will not be there. Then what will happen? Karma marga will not be taken forward. He is in charge of the karma marga, pravritti marga. So that's why for that sake he will be requesting back. But the opinion of Brahmaji is here. So Daksha, yes, that means all the offenders of the great personality, they should die. That's good for them. So that they cannot do further. But if they want to alive for the further satisfaction, further sense gratification, then that idea is not at all a good. Punarapyaparadam karishyatam. Because they will do once again. They didn't realize that they did mistake. So why they want to live? They want to live for further sense gratification. So then what they will do? Then definitely they will do punarapi aparadam karishyatam. Once again they will do aparada. Tesham jivanena alam. So that kind of life is not at all good. Maranameva varam. Death only is good. Maranameva varam. Bhavatehe sattartatvat sattayascha jivana rupatvat. Okay. Why the bubusha means jijivisha? Why it is taken? It is given there. Okay. Lord Brahma explained to the demigods that although Daksha wanted to enjoy the results of fruitive sacrificial activity, it is not possible to enjoy when one offends a great personality like Lord Shiva. It was good for Daksha to have died in the fight because if he had lived, he would have committed such offenses at the lotus feet of great personalities again and again. According to Manu's law, when a person commits murder, punishment is beneficial for him because if he is not killed, he might commit more and more murders and therefore be entangled in his future lives for having killed so many persons. Therefore, the king's punishment of a murder is appropriate. If those who are extremely offensive are killed by the grace of the Lord, that is good for them. In other words, Lord Brahma explained to the demigods that it was good for Daksha to have been killed. That's why whenever that means even in the anytime, that means any in charge, they give punishment to the lowers. Only the expectation is so how to correct them and how to make them right. Out of concern only punishment is given, not the out of Grudge. Grudge. Not out of grudge. Not out of revenge. No. Huh?
From the incidents, it appears that they are.
Yeah, it appears, but who are not mature, they will understand it's like revenge. But it's not revenge. It is just to correct the Dakṣa he did. Lord Shiva himself says in the 7th chapter, why I did this? Because so correct the Dakṣa and his followers. For that sake only I did. And I don't have any how a father can have a revenge mentality towards his son and a grudge towards his son, like that he says. Uh, but he, in the material sake, that is a son-in-law, and he's but actually, if you see, Shiva's position is very far higher than Daksha. अतापि यूयं कृतकिल्बिषाभवं ये बर्हिषो भागभाजं परादु प्रसादयध्वं परिशुद्धचेतसा क्षिप्रप्रसादं प्रगृहीताङ्घ्रिपद्मम्. You have excluded Lord Shiva from taking part in the sacrificial results, and therefore you are all offenders at his lotus feet. Still, if you go without mental reservation, surrender unto him, and fall down at his lotus feet, he will be very pleased. Devatas also got their limbs broken or cut because the reason is they want to see in that sacrificial arena, Lord Shiva is not given a share, but still these devatas without given to the Lord Shiva, and still they accept it for themselves. This is the mistake they did. For this, they got the punishment. Their hands and legs, limbs are broken actually. Every there is action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Lord Shiva is also called Asatosh. Asu means very soon, and Tosha means to become satisfied. The demigods were advised to go to Lord Shiva and beg his pardon, and because he is very easily pleased, it was certain that their purpose would be served. Lord Brahma knew the mind of Lord Shiva very well, and he was confident that demigods, because he is what? Ati Mahattamaha. Lord Shiva is Ati Mahattama. You know? He doesn't have any kind of dosha drishti towards anyone. Only, yeah, he's like a father. And he was confident that demigods who were offenders at his lotus feet could mitigate their offenses by going to him and surrendering without reservation. Even in the Vaishnavas also, if we do offense, so Vishwanath Chakra Thakur says in Madhuri Kadambini, so if anyone offend a Vaishnava, so Vaishnava offense also is nothing but what? Namaprad only. If a blaspheme Vaishnava, who is taking offense? Holy name will take the offense. So that means holy name feel that he is got offended. Because what is the connection? Vaishnava is a propagator of holy name. So that's why if anyone offend Vaishnava, then who will feel bad? Holy name will feel bad actually. And now, what is the remedy for that? One has to go to Vaishnava and ask the forgiveness. And just by asking forgiveness is not sufficient. Because in background, who was feeling bad? Holy name also is feeling bad. So that's why one has to do chanting of holy name again and again. And then till what time? Till the time he revive back his taste for the holy name. Till the time he has continuously chant the holy name. And sometimes what they do, they feel ego of why I have to go to Vaishnava and I will just take the shelter of holy name. But in this case, this is not going to work. Holy name is not going to forgive. he has to go and ask the forgiveness from the Vaishnava. And Vaishnava is not there, then what we should do? By that time, he already left his body. Then what we should do? Take shelter of the holy name only. And he has to repent for that. And sometimes holy name, that the Vaishnava may not take offense because he is Atyutta Ati Mahattama. In that case, he will not take any offense. Even if someone is offending him, he will not take anything into the consideration. He will not take that offense into consideration. Then in that case, who is getting offended?
That's
The dust on their lotus feet. And they will be giving the punishment. Yeah. We should take his dust on our head actually. And we should ask forgiveness him and also the dust. And not only this, on top of that, they should also take the shelter in the holy name and satisfy holy name also. This is
We, I mean, we don't know whom we have offended.
in that case. So now we have no taste for the holy name. Even we are chanting. So no, we are not feeling at all any kind of happiness. That means offenses are there. That's a simple. So then one has to cry for the. We don't know how many lifetimes, how many offenses we did. So then one has to take the shelter of the holy name. If there is no possibility of that, knowing the who is the whom we offended.
It's like a skill punishment.
Ah, everything. All the diseases also we get. Huh?
Offense is more serious than
One is that means he will be taking birth again and again, hundreds and hundreds of times, and he will be getting all severe material torture will be there. You will go to hell also. You will go to hell also. Many times we think that okay, we took the holy name, then we will not go to hell. But if we do offenses, we will go to the hell. 1 and 7 are very important. If we do 1 and 7, then we'll go. And very severe punishments will be there. Yeah, yeah. So that's why we should be very careful. So here offenses by going to him and surrendering without reservation. Without reservation. That means one should not at all feel any kind of reservation. Vaishnava is the topmost and topmost, and he deserves the highest respect. And if we don't give that, then automatically that is offense, and that will make our heart very hard actually. So he is the life and soul actually for a Vaishnava. Another Vaishnava is everything. And if we are not careful in this, most of in our devotional life, the important thing is how to avoid offenses itself is a big science actually. Understanding the glories of the bhakti and understanding the greatness of Vaishnavas and accordingly behaving. So accordingly, if we behave as per the etiquettes of Vaishnavism, but what is happening? We are driven by the our so-called nature, which is coming from the many births, from many births, many lives. So that what is happening, that is always forcing actually, and we are very insensitive to the Vaishnavas and the devotion. And many times we don't know what kind of offenses we are doing also. Like it's like a force actually. The vega which is coming from the previous samskaras, previous vasanas is so heavy you don't have time to stand and think for what kind of offenses you are doing also. It happens like that. So heavy force, vega. So much. But in the Bhagavatam, you are seeing one simple offense, how much another it is leading actually. And for us, such offenses are not at all offense also. इसमें क्या है चलेगा उससे बहुत that means we are very far from the standards of the Vaishnavism. Very far. Of course, we are somehow or other we're coming to so contact of the Vaishnavas and the holy name. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yadadi siddhe yaktam siddhanam api kaschin mam vekti tattvataha. Very rare actually. So that's why we should be very sensitive. Like you see the great devotees, our Gurudevs, Maharajas, very sensitive in every word actually. While they're speaking one word also, they'll be careful how this word is going to give any offense towards anyone or is going to give pain to any Vaishnava. Any criticism is there in this. And also in every behavior, in every act, that means they are like a measuring precisely every act, and that means eating, sleeping, walking, everything they measure it and they do so that there will be no offense. And such a atmosphere has to be created. Then only there is a progress of that community. I say left and right, दाड़ दड़ा एकदम एकदम ऊपर से लेकर नीचे तक सब एकदम दहाड़ के ऑफेंस करते रहते हैं और क्रिटिसाइज करते रहते हैं उससे क्या होता है कि by that atmosphere everyone is inflicted by that actually by hearing that offense his devotion also gone and he will be discussing with others and theirs also gone and all the people their heart is becoming dry and there is no rasa in the bhakti then all of the end of the day that community how it becomes so dry community only to maintain so called so social statue that means I am devotee like a like just we maintain wearing dhoti and tilak and but nobody have any relation that means real happiness in the devotion so that's why without that means and also if some people they get frustration of this kind of oh I cannot stay with the devotees and I want to be alone and to escape okay I'll away from the offenses that is also not solution actually by staying alone also you cannot progress without association of devotees you cannot continue maya is always sitting behind to you aja beta aja idhar aja and she will take into her lap actually and if you stay in the Vaishnavas association then this is the problem. So that's why this Shastra is given. This is the why Bhakti Shastras are there. Such a vibrant environment has to be created. And everyone has to be taught in the not just superficial etiquettes. When you read this kind of episodes, you'll be understanding one simple that means Dakṣa was thinking that why he is not standing. That's all. He's not respecting, and he gave this some so left and right some kind of so blasphemy. Then after that reaction, you see how much it is leading. One Vaishnava offense. For us, such a things are not at all a great offense. Also, we think. So that's why community has to plan for how to train the people actually newcomers and also existing and old senior. So they all has to collectively work on this. It's not the one person's game. and it's all collectively they should make sure that their community, their congregation is offensive free actually, as much as possible. That is a responsibility. All the similarly the brahmacharis, they lead the brahmacharis. We should be also careful. Many times we are driven away by the what? Our previous impressions, and we come to our natural so-called the whatever the mode we have. There we come and we simply roughly we speak. And how much we are disturbing, how much disturbance we are creating, so we don't understand also. Thus, especially it's the duty of leaders. The follows they learn from the leaders. If leader is very precise and very so calculated in the every dealing and action, so that he's careful in not committing in offenses, then by seeing him only, others will learn. Otherwise, no. But we will be getting, that means offenses also sometimes we'll be getting the more number of, that means most of the opulence and also most of the some so-called material success we may see, like in the case of Dakṣa. He got the position. He became Prajapati Pati. I don't think it is a favor, but it is also sometimes so not a favor. This is the main important thing we should learn from this episode. Vaishnava offense, how it is destructive for the life. So now that's why Brahma is saying one should go. That means you all go to Lord Shiva and ask forgive. And he is so soft-hearted actually. And he will be forgiving them and also giving back everything to them. Asha आशासान जीवितमध्वरस्य लोकः सपालः कुपुतेन यस्मिन् तमाशु देवं प्रियया विहीनं क्षमापयध्वं हृदि विद्तं दुरुक्तैः. Lord Brahma also advised them that Lord Shiva is so powerful that by his anger all the planets and their chief controllers can be destroyed immediately. Also, he said that Lord Shiva was especially sorry because he had recently lost his dear wife and was also very much afflicted by the unkind words of Dakṣa. Under the circumstance, Lord Brahma suggested it would behoove them to go at once and beg his pardon. Just in connection with the previous thing I am saying, most of the times we think that we don't focus on how to stop committing offenses, but we try to overcome our lust and this and that, we think. But actually, offenses only will lead the lusty desires. The root cause is offenses actually. Not you are trying and you are trying to control the result actually, not the cause. But no success in that. Until unless if you don't control the cause for that problem, then result will not be stopped. If you try to mitigate the only cause, oh, I am feeling lusty, why I am feeling lusty, why I am feeling this kind of thing. अरे भाई उसका पीछे कारण क्या है देखो. The reason is because of the offenses it will lead to the material attraction actually, and that is the reason actually. If you work on that, then your heart is soft, then automatically you'll be getting the taste for the bhakti, then that will easily pull you out from the attraction towards the material things. There we should work actually. A real problem is another thing actually. For ignorant people, sometimes people they try in the way of the gnanis. I will do some austerity and I will not eat and I will not drink and I will do some this medicine, that medicine. No. That means he is not thinking how to stop the offenses, but he is finding the problem and trying to, he is troubleshooting his problem in a different way, which is not really proper way. That's why as much as you learn bhakti, the siddhanta behind the bhakti, that will help you to troubleshoot the problems in a proper way. If you don't understand the bhakti science, and with your speculated knowledge, if you try to troubleshoot your problems, then what is going to happen? No result. That is also another problem. We don't read the books, another disease. And we want to become a pure devotee. And speculating on manufacturing own philosophy, own way of manufacturing philosophy, and he is becoming his own in charge, his own philosophy, and he is a Siddhanti for his own philosophy. And try his own way. Then it will go no way. Nowhere.
Since, sorry, so, you get the stories from what level we can take these things and ask on Narasimha and Lakshmi love story. Where did you find this? I heard some others. So, like this is also answer.
That means you want to ask what?
Just my question is like a debating philosophy, not understand the philosophy.
Yeah.
That is also linked to the audience.
Yeah. That's automatically mess up our devotional life. Right philosophy, if you don't understand, then we'll mess up our own life. Like if you don't know properly business tricks and you'll start business, then what you will do? You'll mess up business. Yes or no? Similarly, if you don't know Bhakti Siddhantas, Bhakti rules, the subtleties of Bhakti, if you don't know, then you will mess up your Bhakti life. And not only yours, and you will mess up all the followers. Then the dream will be like dream only. The goal will be like dream only. It will not be achieved. So that's why Prabhupada all the time says, read books, understand every line properly. And I spend a lot of energy in this. And try to understand and try to you people are so agitated actually. And one conversation he says actually, you people are so agitated and going here, there, and traveling so much, collecting this and that. You are so much in this. You stop this and read the whatever I give and understand that. Don't get agitated so much. Like that also he said. So there should be a balance of these things. We are not against the expansion, but expansion should be there also. There is check and balance of the the wholesome development of the communities, the healthy situation in the bhakti environment. Create a healthy environment, bhakti environment. That is all together they should come together and so all the leaders and followers and they should plan. It's not the one person's endeavor, this, no. Because without association of devotees, we are nowhere actually. Material Maya will catch immediately. So that's why everyone should cooperate nicely so that that atmosphere can become offenseless and more conducive to progress in bhakti. And it's a need for everyone. It's not the one person's duty or it's the duty of leader or it's the need of the follower. Everyone needs actually. Read Prabhupada books more uh, so nicely, and also we should remember that we can make our bhakti life proper by understanding the properly the bhakti philosophy. So that I can organize our bhakti life so Lord Brahma also, okay, we read this. So Lord Brahma suggested it would behoove them to go at once and beg his pardon. He suggested that go and beg the pardon. Naham Naham na yagno na cha yuyamanye ye deha bhajo munayascha tattvam viduh pramanam balavirya yorva yasyatmatantrasya kaupayam viditset. Lord Brahma said that no one, not even himself, Indra, all the members assembled in the sacrificial arena, or all the sages could know how powerful Lord Shiva is. What he's saying, Lord Brahma is saying that Lord Shiva is even not known by himself also. He also doesn't know the power of the Lord Shiva. Brahma himself doesn't know. And also Indra also doesn't. Yajna is said here. Yajna means what here? Vishnu? Indra we should take. Then but Yajna is, Indra is here. Who is Indra? Then Yajna is Indra. That's a Vishnu. We should take Vishnu. Vishnu doesn't know Shiva. How to understand this? So, ataha tvameva kamapi upayam vidisya tatraha naham brahmapi na yajna. Idanim tana indropi na cha yuyam yagnikaha veda vidopi yasya tattvam balaviryoho pramana. Idanim tana indra. Present Indra. Not the first Indra in the first Manvantara. In Swayambhu Manvantara, Indra is Vishnu. And what he is saying here, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Idanim Tana Indra. So here, our Jiva Goswami is saying, Yajnaha means Swayambhu Manvantarendra Sri Vishnu Eva Amshavataraha Yajna Adhishtatrtvena Tasya Prachina Barhi Rajye Sastama Manvantarepi Stitehe Tatha Uktam. Which Manvantara story is going now? Sixth Manvantara story. And in this Manvantara, that Yajna was just he is now in the Adhisthana Devata for the Yajnas. Yajna Swayambhu Manvantarendra Sri Vishnu Amshavatara Yajnadhishthatritvena Tasya Prachina Barhi Rajye. That means Prachina Barhi is Rajya. Sashtam Manvantare. That means in the sixth Manvantara, Prachina Barhi's kingdom. So, Api Stitaha. He also staying there. Here, Jiva Goswami, how he is seeing here Yajna? See, here both Acharyas have different opinions. Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying that Yajna means here you should take the sixth Manvantara Indra. So that's why he is not a Vishnu, so no problem. And Jiva Goswami, what he says, he is Amsha Avatara. It's not necessary that, like Amsha Avataras, like you see, like Prithu Maharaj, like the different Avataras, it's not necessary that they should know everything. So, in that sense, he is saying. And here Yajna, who is belonging to the first Manvantara, but why he is called here also Indra, Yajna? Because that same Yajna is standing or is becoming the Adhisthana Devata for the Yajnas which are conducted by Prachin Barhi. Understanding? Adhisthana Devata means the controller. Yajna Adhisthata. Adhisthata means he is a controller of the Yajna.
Although there is separate Indra.
He is appointed actually. That Indra, that first Yajna, Swayambhu Manvantara Yajna is appointed actually as the Prachina Barhi's Yajnas. Prachina Barhi conducted several Yajnas. Na? So for all his Yajnas, he invited actually that Yajna as the Adhisthana Deva.
Present Indra identity.
No, Indra is not in Indra post. Only the Yajna Adhisthana Devata he called actually.
Generally, Adhisthana Devata is Vishnu. They called Yajna.
Yajna. Adhishthatritvena tasya prachina barhi sashta manvantare stitehi. That means he is existing in the sixth month. Jiva Goswami only giving the clarity why that Yajna is still in the sixth manvantara. Yajna in which manvantara? First manvantara or not? First manvantara Yajna, why he is still in the... Now story is going which manvantara story? Sixth manvantara. Sashtama manvantare. Api stitehi. That means in the sixth manvantara also, sixth manvantara story is going. Then Yajnas, how this Yajna is coming in the sixth manvantara? He belongs to first manvantara. Now how he is in the sixth manvantara also?
Dakṣa's Yajna is carried on for 5 minutes.
No, this Manvantara is now this incident is whatever this initially also they did yajnas. So this yajna, that means initially they did one yajna and I don't know the exactly. Initially they did yajna and now whatever the situation is going on, this situation is belong to Sashtam Manvantara. There is no doubt in that. And in this Manvantara, how the yajna role is coming actually. That is Jiva Goswami is explaining that first yajna only is appointed as yajna adhishthata, not the Indra position. As yajna adhishthata is appointed, that's why yajna is existing here also. And that yajna doesn't know because he is Amsha Vishnu eva Amsha. But here Vishwanath is saying that yajna means Indra. He is saying that yajna means Indra in Idanim Tana Indra Api. Idanim Tana means in the Sashta Manvantara Indra. And he doesn't know. Indra doesn't know. Okay. His explanation is very simple. Vishwanath explanation.
There is a place from where we take first.
In the Prachina Bari's kingdom.
Different.
In the kingdom of Prachina Bari.
General, like two acharyas are saying slightly different.
Both are same. Both are same means that is also can be in one time and this also one can. Like that.
But does it happen in scriptures like two acharyas are saying something very different?
No. Siddhanta will not be different.
Siddhanta will not be, but some technicalities.
Technically, it can be.
So in such cases, what's such a difference?
Like example, you can see differences in the giving the reasons, like Bharata Maharaj reason. So one Acharya say that because of the Lord's will only he got the attraction towards the deer, and another Acharya say that because of his offenses. Both are possible. That means whenever they give two reasons, two different reasons, that means there is chance to happen both, and it's universal. Time is unlimited actually. It can happen in the another time, in the another Manvantara or another Kalpa, it can happen. And in this Kalpa, it happened like this. So that's why their explanation is not against the fundamental rules or fundamental Gaudiya Vaishnava principles, whatever we have. So that is not going to contradict actually. There is no contradiction actually. These kind of things that is also possible. This is also possible means, yes, Bharata Maharaj, example, Bharata Maharaj might have done the previously offenses and the result is coming and because of that he might be getting attraction. That is also possible. One time might have happened like that because how many times will happen Bharata Maharaj story? Lakhs of times it will happen. Cycles are iterated, na? Not the one time it is happening, every Manvantara. So similarly, we should consider that all the reasons are okay. It can happen in different kalpas. So, after Lord Brahma advised the demigods to go to Lord Shiva and beg him pardon, it was suggested how he should be satisfied and how the matter should be placed before him. Brahma also asserted that none of the conditioned souls, including himself and all the demigods, could know how to satisfy Lord Shiva. So, not only satisfying, but powers of the Lord Shiva, even Brahma also doesn't know. That is the main point. Here, Lord asks everyone to give up all kind of concocted occupations and simply this line is seen. There, Prabhupada, actually, Brahmaji, what he's suggesting to take the shelter of the Lord Shiva for their offenses. In this context, Srila Prabhupada is writing actually. What is writing? Actually, the position of subordinate is always to surrender to the Supreme. That is the instruction of Bhagavad Gita. So all the subordinates, we are Jiva is being part and parcel of the Lord, and what is the position of the Jivatma? So there is no free will, nothing. We have to completely surrender to the Lord. Simply, Prabhupada says, Lord asks everyone to give up all kinds of concocted occupations and simply. What is the meaning of simply?
Without any reservations or
Annaya Sunyam Jnana Karma Janam. Completely. All kinds of concocted occupations. All means all. So that is the position of the Jivatma. That will protect the conditioned souls from all sinful reactions. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshesha. Similarly, in the case of Brahma, also suggested that they go and surrender unto the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. For since he is very kind and easily satisfied, this action would prove effective. Saittamaदिश्य सुरानुजस्तुतै समन्वितः पितृभिः सप्रजेशै ययौ स्वदिष्ण्यन्निलयम् परद्विषः पुरद्विषः कैलासमाद्रि प्रवरम प्रियम प्रभु. इधर से हम लोग अभी फास्ट चलेंगे. After thus instructing all the demigods, the Pitas and the lords of living entities, Lord Brahma took them with him and left for the abode of Lord Shiva known as Kailasa Hill. Now see the description of Kailasa. जन्मैषादि तपो मंत्र योग सिद्धै नरैरितरै दुष्टं किन्नर गंधर्वै अप्सरसो कृतं सदा. The abode known as Kailasa is full of different herbs and vegetables, and it is sanctified by Vedic hymns and mystic yoga practice. Thus, the residents of that abode are demigods by birth and have all mystic powers. Besides them, there are other human beings who are known as Kinnaras, Gandharvas, and are accompanied by their beautiful wives who are known as Apsaras and or angels. Now Kailasha, they are going how the Kailasha is there. Let us see. Nana Manimayai Shurai, Nana Dhatu Vichitritai, Nana Drumalata Gulmai, Nana Mrugaga Ganavrutai. Kailasha is full of mountains filled with all kinds of valuable jewels and minerals and surrounded by all varieties of valuable trees and plants. The top of the hill is nicely decorated by various types of deer. नानामला प्रस्रवणैर्नाना कन्दरसानुभिः रमणं विहरन्तीनां रमणैः सिद्धयोषिताम्. There are many waterfalls, and in the mountains there are many beautiful caves in which the very beautiful wives of the mystics are found. Mayura ke kavirutam madandhali vimurchitam plavitai rakta kantanam pujitaischa patatrinam. On Kailasa hill there is always the rhythmical sound of the peacock's sweet vibrations and the bees humming. Cuckoos are always singing, and other birds whisper amongst themselves. आह्वयन्तामिवोधस्तैर् द्विजान् कामधुकैर्द्रुमैः व्रजन्तीमिव मातङ्गैर् गृणन्तमिव निर्जरैः. There are tall trees with straight branches that appear to call the sweet birds, and when herds of elephants pass through the hills, it appears that the Kailasa hill moves with them. When the waterfalls resound, it appears that Kailasa hill does also. Mandarai parijataischa saralaischopasobitam tamalai shalatalaischa kovidarasanaarjunai chutai kandambarai nipais naga punnaga champakai patala shoka bakulai kundai kurapakairapi. The whole of Kailasha hills is decorated with the various kinds of trees, of which the following names may be mentioned: Mandara, Parijata, Sarala, Tamala, Tala, Kovidara, Asana, Arjuna, Amrajati, Kadamba, Dhuli Kadamba, Naga, Punnaga, Champaka, Patala, Ashoka, Bakula, Kunda, and Kurbaka. The entire hill is decorated with such trees which produce flowers with fragrant aromas. स्वर्णार्णाशतपत्रैश्च वररेणुकजातिभिः कुब्जकैर्मल्लिकाभिश्च माधवीभिश्च मण्डितम्. There are other trees also which decorate the hill, such as the golden lotus flower, the cinnamon tree, Malati, Kubja, Mallika, and Madhavi. Panasodumbarashat ashvatha plakshanyograhi hingubihi Burjairoshadhibhi pugai Rajapugaischa jambubihi. Kailasha hill is also decorated with such as trees, kata, jackfruit, julara, banyan trees, plakshas, nyagrodas, and trees producing asafoi. What is this? Asafoi tree? Hinga, acha, acha. Also, there are trees of betel nuts and burjapatra, as well as rajapuga, blackberries, and similar other trees. Karjuramra Karjuramrata Kamratye Priyalama Kengudai Drumajati Biranyescha Rajitam Venukichakai. So many trees are there. There are mango trees, Priyala, Madhuka, and Inguda. Besides these, there are other trees like thin bamboos, Kichaka, and varieties of other bamboo trees, all decorating the tract of Kailasha hill. Kumudotpala Kumudotpala Kahlara Shatapatra Vanardhibihi Nalinishu Kalam Kujat Khaga Vrundopashobitam Mrugaihi Shaka Mrugai Krodai Mrugendrai Riksha Salyakai Gavaihi Sharabhair Vyakrair Rurubir Mahishadibihi. There are different kinds of lotus flowers such as Kumuda, Utpala, and Shatapatra. The forest appears to be the decorated garden, and the small lakes are full of various kinds of birds who whisper very sweetly. There are many kinds of other animals also, like deer, monkeys, boars, lions, rickshaws, shelyakas, forest cows, forest asses, tigers, small deer, buffalo, and many other animals who are full enjoying their lives. कर्णांत्रिकै पदाश्वस्य निर्जुष्टं मृकनाम ना what is that नाभिभिः कदलीकण्ड सरुत्थान नलिनी पुलिनाश्रितम् पुलिनाश्रियम्. There are varieties of deer such as Karnantara, the Ekapada, Ashwasya, Vrika, and Kasturi, the deer which bears musk. Besides the deer, there are many banana trees which decorate the small hillside lakes very nicely. Paryastam Nanda Nandaya Satya Snana Punya Tarodaya Vilokya Bhuta Shagirim Vibhuda Vismayam Yayuhu. There is a small lake named Alakananda in which Sati used to take her bath, and that lake is especially auspicious. All the demigods, after seeing the specific beauty of Kailasa hill, were struck with wonder at the great opulence to be found there. Prabhupada is writing according to the commentary called Sri Bhagavata Chandra Chandrika. The water in which Sati used to bathe was Ganges water. In other words, the Ganges flowed through the Kailasa Parvata. There is every possibility of accepting such a statement because Ganges water also flows from the hair of Lord Shiva. Since Ganges water rests on the head of Lord Shiva and then flows to the other parts of the universe, it is quite possible that the water in which Sati bathed, which was certainly very nicely scented, was Ganges water. Prabhupada is giving proof it's Ganges water. दुदृशुस्तत्र ते रम्याम् अलकां नाम वैपुरीं वनं सौगन्धिकं चापि यत्र तन्नाम पङ्कजम्. Thus the demigods saw the wonderfully beautiful region known as Alaka in the forest known as Saugandhika, which means full of fragrance. The forest is known as Saugandhika because of its abundance of lotus flowers. I don't know. I tried actually. I didn't find that. Nandachalaka Nandacha Saritau Bahyatah Puraha Tirthapada Padamboja Padamboja Rajasativa Pavani. They also saw the two rivers named Nanda and Alakananda. These two rivers are sanctioned by the dust of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda. Yayoho Surastriya Kshatta Avaruhya Swadishnataha Kridanti Pumsa Sinchantyo Vigahya Rati Karshita. My dear Kshatta, Vidura, the celestial damsels come down to those rivers in their airplanes with their husbands, and after sexual enjoyment, they enter the water and enjoy sprinkling their husbands with water. Upadhi writing. It is understood that even the damsels of heavenly planets are polluted by thoughts of sex enjoyment, and therefore they come in airplanes to bathe in the rivers Nanda and Alakananda. It is significant that these rivers Nanda and Alakananda are sanctified by the dust of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, just as the Ganges is sacred because its water emanates from the toes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, so whenever water or anything is in touch with the devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is purified and spiritualized. The rules and regulations of devotional service are based on the principles. Anything in touch with the lotus feet of the Lord is immediately freed from all material contamination. That is clear. Now the point comes. The damsels of the heavenly planets polluted by thoughts of sex life come down to bathe in the sanctified rivers and enjoy sprinkling water on their husbands. Two words are very significant in this connection. Rati Karshitaha means that the damsels became morose after sex enjoyment. Although they accept sex enjoyment as a bodily demand, afterwards they are not happy. Nobody will be happy. Another significant point is that Lord Govinda, the Supreme Personality of God, is described here as Tirthapada. Tirtha means sanctified place, and Pada means the lotus feet of the Lord. People go to the sanctified places of places to free themselves from all sinful reactions. In other words, those who are devoted to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, automatically become sanctified. The lotus feet, the Lord's lotus feet are called Tirthapada because under their protection there are hundreds and thousands of saintly persons who sanctify the sacred places of pilgrimage. Srila Narottam Das Thakura, a great Acharya of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, advises us not to travel to different places of pilgrimage. Why? Undoubtedly, it is troublesome to go from one place to another, but one who is intelligent can take shelter of the lotus feet of the Govinda and thereby be automatically sanctified as the result of his pilgrimage. Anyone who is fixed in the service of the lotus feet of the Govinda is called Tirthapada. He doesn't need to travel on various pilgrimages, for he can enjoy all the benefits of such a travel simply by engaging in service of the lotus feet of the Lord. Such a pure devotee who has implicit faith, what is that? Note this point. Implicit faith, not just faith. Strong faith, exclusive faith, 100% faith. Implicit faith. Prabhupada says the condition for the pure devotion means what? Implicit faith. That means full surrender, unalloyed. And that's why that word meaning is very important and we should understand. Only the people who have implicit faith, those people only are doing the Suddha Sadhana Bhakti. So other Sadhana Bhakti is not pure Sadhana Bhakti. It's a mixed Sadhana Bhakti. So he's saying, who has implicit faith in the lotus feet of the Lord can create sacred places in any part of the world where he decides to remain. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. The places are sanctified due to the presence of pure devotees. Any place automatically becomes a place of pilgrimage if either the Lord or his pure devotee remains or resides there. So in other words, such a pure devotee who is engaged 100%. How much?
100.
100%. Implicit faith, strong faith, 100%, exclusive. Don't undermine these words. 100%. अब घर के लिए भी कुछ रखेंगे, ये सब नहीं चलता है. That is not a शुद्ध साधन भक्ति. It's a misrita. 100% in the Lord's service. But in our devotional concepts, so much adulteration came actually. And now we are all considering whatever the things you do, but if you chant 16 rounds, then you are pure devotee. And 4 regulative principles you are following, and Guru Diksha happened. And so you are helping the project. So by giving some donation, you are also pure devotee in the pure devotional service. This is going on. This is not. So our bhakti process begins with the 100% surrender to the Lord. The pure devotion begins from there. In the service of the Lord can remain anywhere in the universe. And that part of the universe immediately becomes sacred place. That means such a pure devotees who are fully surrendered to the Lord and they are engaging 100% in the service of the Lord. So those people's presence itself is a tirtha actually. It's a sanctified place. And people should go and take shelter there actually. And associate there actually. Not the just going to the different pilgrim places. Yes. Not envious, actually. Yeah. Yeah. How to understand? Some people they worship the Lord, but with the asuya they worship. Example, Mayavadis, they show the lot of devotion. They are taking the holy name shelter, they are praying and they are reading Bhagavatam, everything, all the activities they practice. But they are asuya. What is asuya for them? They are considering Lord's body as out of Maya. This is the asuya actually. And of course they are devotees, but since the asuya, they are not getting any result actually. They will be thrown into the hell actually. Even that devotion is not going to give any help.
It's not a part of sun. That is we. Somebody.
No, asuya means not surrender there. This is the Mayavadi. That means they might be worshipping the Lord, but they have asuya towards the Lord. Means they are not accepting Lord's body as a transcendental body. They are seeing that body is out of Vidya Pratibimbita Chaitanya. That is asuya actually.
But in Shiksha, God says, Bhakti Yogi is like this.
Yeah.
Bhakti Yogi also can be a Maya.
That means that's what I'm saying. Mayavadis, they do devotion. They do devotion, they will becoming asuya. Why they do devotion to the Vishnu? Because they want to get the mode of goodness. And so that they can understand the Brahman. And but they are seeing the Lord. Since they are seeing the Lord's body as material, okay, Lord is saying that your body also will be material all the time. So that's why you should also take birth again and again. But those who are worshipping Lord with understanding that He is transcendental, and but aspire for the Brahman realization, those only will be going for the Brahman realization, not the Mayavadis. So 100% whoever surrender to the Lord and do the service 100%, they are actually so real pilgrimage. They are Tirtha Padas. That place is fully sanctified. Next, yo yo snana viprasta nava kunkuma pinjaram vitrushopi pibantya payayanto gajagaji. Gajagaji. After the damsels of heavenly planets bathe in the water, it becomes yellowish and fragrant due to the kunkuma from their bodies. Thus, the elephants came to bathe there with their wives, the she elephant, and they also drink the water, although they are not thirsty. तारहेम महारत्न विमान शतसङ्कुलां जुष्टां पुण्यजनस्त्रीभिर्यथा स्वं स्फंसतडि घनम्. The airplanes of the heavenly denizens are backed with pearls, gold, and many valuable jewels. The heavenly denizens are compared to clouds in the sky decorated with occasional flashes of electric lightning. They are like that. Merupatiga. Okay, here the airplanes described in this verse are different from the airplanes of which we have experience. In the Srimad Bhagavatam and all the Vedic literatures, there are many descriptions of Vimana, which means airplanes. One on different planets, there are different kinds of airplanes. On this grass planet Earth, there are airplanes run by machine. But on other planets, the airplanes are run not by machine, but by Vedic or mantric humans. With the mantras, they used to run the airplanes. That science is in the Kali Yuga is disappeared because of the increasing in the sin. So there is no purity in the Brahmanas, and the mantra is also not uttered properly. So that's that results we are not seeing. But that doesn't mean that the Vedas are false or mantras are false. Now we are doing grossly actually. Previously they used to do everything through subtly with that subtle energies. हित्वा यक्षेश्वर पुरीं वनं सौगन्धिकं च तत् द्रुमैः कामधुगैर्हृत्यं चित्रमाल्याफलच्छदैः. While traveling, the demigods passed over the forest known as Saugandhika, which is full of varieties of flowers, fruits, and desired trees. While passing over the forest, they also saw the regions of Yaksheswara. That means Kuvera's quarters. Also there, while crossing that Saugandhika forest. Next, रक्तकण्टकगानीका स्वरमण्डितषट्पदम् कलहंसकुलप्रेष्ठं करदण्डजलाशयम्. In that celestial forest, there were many birds whose necks were colored reddish and whose sweet sounds mixed with the humming of bees. The lakes were abundantly decorated with crying swans as well as strong stemmed lotus flowers. वनकुञ्जर संगृष्ट हरिचन्दन वायुना आदिपुण्यजनस्त्रीणां मुहुरुन्मथ यन्मनः. All these atmospheric influences unsettled the forest elephants who flocked together in the sandalwood forest, and the blowing wind agitated the minds of damsels there for further sexual enjoyment. Prabhupada writing, whenever there is a nice atmosphere in the material world, immediately there is an awakening of the sexual appetite in the minds of materialistic persons. That's why you can see in the parks also, they'll go and they do this. So, nice parks are there, boys and girls, they go. So, this is the common tendency actually. Even the Devatas also, they do like this. This tendency is present everywhere within the material world. Not only in this earth, but in the higher planetary systems as well. In complete contrast with the influence of this atmosphere on the minds of the living entities within the material world is the description of spiritual world. Women, there are hundreds and thousands of times more beautiful than the woman here in the material world. and the spiritual atmosphere is also many times better. Yet, despite the pleasant atmosphere, the minds of the denizens don't become agitated because in the spiritual world, the Vaikuntha planets, the spiritualistic minds of the inhabitants are so much absorbed in the spiritual vibration of chanting glories of the Lord that such enjoyment couldn't be surpassed by any other enjoyment, even sex. That means when we come to the stage of the Nishtha, that means after doing the Anishtita Bhajana Kriya, then Nishtha, another Vritti and Nishtha, that means steadiness in the bhajan. So then after that, taste will be awakened. That means mind is always running behind the hearing the glories of the Lord. When there is such a kind of absorption is there, then only the vasana, that means anarthas, sukrutot anarthas, duskrutot anarthas. That means duskrutot anarthas, that means the desire for the sex and other things. So those will be completely vanished. First of all, what one should do? One should develop the strong faith and do the steady, that means pure sadhana bhakti. By that, once the sadhana is steady, that means after the anadha steady, then anadha means this is sukruta, dushkruta, tanada, that means the tendencies to enjoy women. So these sukruta and dushkruta anardhas, so those will be removed 100%, but when they will not come back, authentic removal, when it will happen, when we get this stage of ruchi, means when the minds are absorbed in the spiritual lives. That means naturally when they started going behind the Lord's names, forms, qualities, then this kind of desire will not awaken. So that is known as spiritual mind actually. Till that time, one should restrict his mind actually. So by the rules and regulations, by the vidhi, and naturally it will be finished when mind is absorbed in the spiritual vibration of chanting the glories of the Lord. That such enjoyment couldn't be surpassed by any other enjoyment, even sex, which is the culmination of all pleasure in the material world. So that's why we have to understand the process systematically and where we are and when the what result will come and how to travel. And then only you can give the importance to the things what you have to do in that situation, in that position. Otherwise, sometimes you will be thinking that, oh, this absorption will be there for anytime, anywhere, anyone, and you try for 2 3 days studying Bhagavatam, so absorbed, and then after that, you will forget that you have to absorb your mind in the mind in the Krishna Katha also. It will go away. That's why systematically you should approach the process. Process should be clear to us. So first goal is what for us? Faith, Dhrada Shraddha. And that is the engine oil, that is a fuel to do what? To do Suddha sadhana. Anyabhilashita sunya gnana karmadi anavruta Krishnanusellam. We can do that only in that by that only anarthas will be purified. Otherwise, with the dirty water, anarthas can be purified. With the mixed sadhana bhakti, anarthas can be purified. No. Like if you want to clean the clothes, water should be clean or not? Clean water only can purify all the dirtiness in the clothes. If you use the dirty water, that means if water is little dirty, but marks are so heavy, then this water will clean. To what extent? The extent this water is clean. Yes, sir. Not more than that. Can you expect water is clean, is dirty and the cloth will be clean? It's not possible. When you have the Mishra Bhakti, that means not pure devotion. And if with that, if you try to clean the anarthas, do you think all anarthas will go? No. So that's why one should come to the platform of pure devotional service. For that, what is the required thing? Qualification. Why the sadhana bhakti? What is the qualification? Shraddha. What kind of Shraddha? Exclusive or otherwise 100% or otherwise firm or otherwise full. Recently, what was one word? One word here. Implicit. 24/7.
100%.
100%. Fully. Simply. Prabhupada words. These words are very powerful words, involving the lot of meaning in that. But what we do, because of our minds are contaminated, we take the meaning also, which is comfortable to us. Simply we take simply. So when we do, that means such a sadhana, then the anarthas will be. People think that the Shraddha means only little faith, also Shraddha. So now I am doing the some bhajan. So now another nivritti is happening. Then and the Nishtha, then the Shraddha will be strong. No, no, no. That is not the process. Anyabhilasha Sunni for whom? For the Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti also. For Anishtita Bhajana also, Anyabhilasha Sunni should be satisfied. For Bhajana Kriya also, Anyabhilasha Sunni is satisfied or not? That condition is applied for that also. That means in the sadhana bhakti should be Anyabhilasha Sunyam Jnana Karma Tenavrita Anukulan Krishnanasilam Bhakti Ruttama. This definition is for sadhana bhakti also or not? Yes? So then sadhana bhakti, what are the stages are there? Sadhu Sangha, Shraddha. Shraddha anyway, it's not the part of the bhakti, it's a qualification. Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha. These are also part of sadhana bhakti or not? In this stage, whatever bhakti we do, that should be satisfying that definition or not? Yes. But there is a misconception is going on. People are thinking that कुछ भी थोड़ा सा भी श्रद्धा रहेगा तो हम ऑलरेडी स्टार्ट हो गए. नहीं. Yeah. Yeah.
I think on Tuesday we were discussing how there is a possibility of people not having
Shraddha. Because
Salukya, not having going to Vaikuntha to enjoy the opulences. So, what is that case? Those people who end up in Vaikuntha with Salukya Sarishti
yeah.
and doing Sakama Bhakti,
Yes, yes.
who end up in Vaikuntha, do they have akanthas and will their heart will sexual desires arise? Because they are not solely there to serve the Lord eternally.
Vishwanath writes this in the 7th sloka, 7th chapter 15th. So they are also 15th. That means Chaturvidaha Bhajanti.
Yes.
In that 16th, no? Sorry, 16th. In that 16th commentary, we can see these people, that means Arthaha, Arthati, Jignasu, and Gnani. These are they are not in the association of pure devotees, but they are following the Varnashrama Achara Vatrina. That means they are following the Varnashrama Vrata, and that means duties of Varnashrama. And whenever they come out of, that means the material desires, and whenever they exclusively desiring only the spiritual opulence, they are not free from the desire for the opulence, but their desire is free from the material things. That means they don't want material opulence. They want spiritual opulence. That means they are freed from the desiring the material things. They want spiritual opulence. So when they come to that stage, then they are qualified actually to go there. But if they are not freed from the material wealth or material opulence, if still they are desiring, then they will be hero.
So desiring the spiritual opulence, sex desire will.
So they will be.
Desiring opulence means some joy or last vestiges still remain.
Yeah, if they have desire for material sex, material things, they will not. They will not go.
Question. You said until the desire for material opulence completely becomes zero and replaced by desire for spiritual opulence.
Yes.
The desire means some last vestige of enjoymentalities. So how can a person who has a last vestiges of enjoymentality end up in Vaikuntha? If at all he has ended up in Vaikuntha also, as long as he has the enjoymentality, the sex desire will come.
No. That's why here the material desire, if he has, he cannot. He cannot go there at all. So the required condition is if he is free from the material hankering of the material things. That's why in that Varnashrama Vatrina, that means they are worshipping the Vishnu and they are following the rules and regulations and they are developing the consciousness fitting to the Salokya. So such a consciousness, when they develop, then only they can go there.
Desire for spiritual opulence is for what? For pleasing the Lord or for pleasing themselves?
Pleasing themselves.
That is not an anartha.
No. That is anartha for them. But in our view, it is anartha for us. Because we don't want to be like Lord, and we don't want to get the opulence like Lord and enjoy like the Lord. We don't want. That will be there in them. That's why that kind of mukti is not desired by the pure devotee. So see, here we have
even such people
Mm.
who are in the Salokya platform,
Mm.
even they will not be bewildered by sex.
Definitely, they are not bewildered by material sex. They will not. Otherwise, they will not go there. And that is a condition actually. So we should understand there is a different varieties are there. One is purely serving the Lord. So that is the only the possibility when we understand bhakti is also sadhya. And who are desiring material things, and they will be in the material world. And there is one more option we should give. Otherwise, it is a force also. Someone doesn't want any material things, and also some doesn't want to do service to the Lord eternally, and but they want to be like Lord, and they want to so get the opulence like Lord. Then where is the option for them? Yeah.
So some seva bhav is there.
Seva bhav is there, then why devotees will reject that? Devotees, they don't like Salokya Samukya.
That means they don't want to do any seva to Lord.
Huh.
They are in Vaikuntha.
So they all come in the Shanta Rasa.
No, that is another.
Shantrasa.
He is another thing.
Shantrasa.
In the four, Gnani will become Santarasa.
Shantrasa. Shantrasa means always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna, but not wanting to do any active service.
Any active service. So, but they have the some association of devotees Kripa, they have, that's why they got Santarasa. They're Vishwanath right side.
Salokya is basically lower than Shantrasa.
Lower than Santarasa.
They
Salokya.
don't want to do any seva. Solely they don't want to do any seva. The purpose they want to get.
लेकिन इंद्र लोग जाएंगे तो इंद्र की जैसे एंजॉय करेंगे. इन लोगों का कॉन्शियस रेज हो गया अभी. मुझे भौतिक जगत का I don't want any kind of material pleasure, but I want to spiritual pleasure. And also I don't want to serve him.
They don't have any problem with Krishna. No?
They don't have any problem with Krishna.
Because we hear that Jivatma wants to become the Purusha, wants to enjoy like Krishna, and because of that he's struggling mentality.
And lower than that is merging into the Brahma. Even they are better actually. Salokya Mukti people are more better than the Sahijyas. These people also, they don't want, these people even further actually, down actually. They don't want to accept the form of the Lord. Accept means they don't want to, that means separate from the truth. They want to be truth. One with the truth.
One last question. If Vishnu comes in front of a Salokya devotee, will he give one glass of water?
I don't know. I didn't see, bro. Based upon the hints, we can say that they don't have any seva bhava, because if they have any seva bhava and if devotees are rejecting them, that Salokya means if they have seva bhava but still devotees are rejecting means it is offense. So that's why that cannot be done. That means seva bhava is not at all there. And also we have to see that some option we should give people who eternally want to be with Vishnu in the Vaikuntha Loka, and but they don't want any material happiness, and also they don't want to serve. Then there should be a choice should be given. So by that also we should accept. So in that way, appropriately when they prepare consciousness here, then only they go there. We should do the reverse engineering. Because we don't have the process how to get this Salokya Mukti is not explained in our scriptures. Because that is not the aim of our Veda Vyas. Because he doesn't want to promote through the Bhagavatam any Salokya Mukti or Sarupya or Sarishti. So just he hinted that this kind of Muktis are is not accepted by the pure devotee, and just like a few hints only we get. So that much only discussed, and we don't know also how to the scrutinizing the stages of the jnanis, when the nishkama karma yoga you do, and then after that going and merging into the Brahman. There also the spectrum is not so detailedly not explained in the Bhagavad Gita, also in the Uddhava Gita also. Only just few stages are said and gone. But if you see our acharyas also elaborating based upon Bhagavatam, the stages actually in the Madhuri Kadambini and also in other books of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, these stages and rasas, how they are manifesting. So these things are explained because this is the promotion what he wants to do. Vedavyas wants to do the promotion of pure devotion. So that's why we will not find the preparation for Salokya Mukti how it will be. Only just we can, from the result, we can assess this is the process.
Vishnu Dutas who have the Sarupya Mukti, is it 3 planets? They have a lot of seva.
No, they have service. They are
So
servants.
they are not like the
No,
other
no.
Sarupya.
No, no,
They
no.
are special Sarupya.
Yeah. And Jai Vijay also they are servants. They are all having the seva bhav. Maybe some corner in the Vaikunta, they might be having that place for the Salokya and Sarupya
With
devotees.
all the definitions of Vaikuntha which Srila Prabhupada gives, it's full of seva.
Seva actually.
And without seva, how is it possible to sustain this sex urge and all?
Most part of the Vaikunta is service area only. Maybe some corner. So they are like that. They throw away there actually. But most, because you see, when Vishnu in the third canto also 15th chapter, when Vishnu is coming from his palace, so while walking, that means with the feet, that means Vaikuntha Vasis, they are coming from their houses, and some are offering the flowers, some are offering the garland, some are giving the different kinds of ornaments and stones. They are all offering to the Vishnu. That means what Vaikuntha area is full of service area only. And somewhere this kind of people might be there.
So,
Yeah.
In one of the purports in that section of Srila Prabhupada writes, residents of Vaikuntha want Lord Vishnu to be the most beautiful. But people of Goloka want Srimati Radharani. What is spiritual opulence then? Is the Vaikuntha Bhav spiritual?
Vaikuntha Bhav, I couldn't understand.
When Vishnu's beauty is being described and he's putting hand on Garuda and Chamar,
Yes.
and then it is mentioned that he is overpowering the beauty of Lakshmi. That purpose Srila Prabhupada writes. Vaikuntha Vasis want Lord Vishnu to be the most beautiful. But people of Goloka want Srimati Radharani. So when we are talking about spiritual opulence, is this line like food, spiritual opulence? How do I understand?
Opulence means all the Aishwarya, Virya, Yasha, Shri, all. So these are all called as not only one beauty, but also the knowledge and also the renunciation. All this comes. But in the Vaikuntha, we see this in the Aishwarya. That means, but in the Vrindavan, this Aishwarya will not be there. There is the Madhurya, sweetness, the loving relationship. This will be the opulence. According to the place, the terminology will changes. So here in the Vrindavan, the main importance for the sweetness, Madhurata is the main. Based upon that, rasas also graded there actually, Madhuri rasa, and there the competition is not the beauty or the wealth, the how much dedication, Mahabhav. Radharani is opulent because of Mahabhav. In the Vaikuntha, then the beauty, Aishwarya. Okay. So, in other words, in the Vaikuntha world, in spite of its better atmosphere and facilities, there is no impetus for sex life. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Param Drishtva Nivartate, the inhabitants are so spiritually enlightened that in the presence of such a spiritual sex life is insignificant. What we should do actually? We'll finish. We'll finish this chapter. Another 10-15 minutes, we'll finish it. Only the Kailash description only. And in the last, actually, what Brahmaji says, after approaching Brahmaji, so Lord Shiva gets up and he pay obeisances. Then Brahmaji asks that, so please forgive all these people. and because especially Dakṣa, you should forgive him because Dakṣa is needed for us. He is a Prajapati Pati. He has to lead the karma marga, pravritti marga, and he should be there. So kindly do some arrangement. And this request he put in this chapter, and in the next chapter, Lord Shiva, okay, but he can be, he can alive, but he should be also learn the lesson. So, and one thing is his head is already burnt out in the fire, so we cannot bring it back, and we'll keep the goat head to him. And also Pusha, his teeth are gone, so he'll be eating through the Mitra's teeth. He will not be having his own teeth. And otherwise, the in the yagya, the pishta means yeah, dough. Dough is used, and that dough will eat. And what about the another who is that? Bhaga.
Eyes.
Bhaga eyes, actually Bhaga will see through the Ashwini Kumaras eye, Ashwini or someone else actually. So he'll be seeing through the someone's eyes. He will not be getting eyes. And mistake of our Brugu, he'll be getting goat mistake. Goat mistake will be given to him. So then who else? These demigods, they all lost their limbs, na? Fractured. They got fractured. So they got fractured till now, and they will be relieved back because they asked pardon to the Shiva. And why they got that much amount of time, the pain? Because they accepted their share without. That means Lord Shiva's share. Actually, that's the mistake they did, and they realize now. So that's why their limbs are given it back properly. So like that, everything will be over. Then Vishnu comes. They will invite Vishnu to clean the whole sacrificial arena. Then Vishnu is glorified. Then after that, with Vishnu's permission, with Vishnu's presence, they will perform the sacrifice yajna, and it's finished. Okay. Curses Daksha. Mhm. Actually, see, uh, that is there actually. Shiva will not be given portion in the many yajnas. Is there actually. So specifically, they have the Rudra yajnas or other, but in the Vishnu yajnas, Shiva portion is not there. Is there? It is continued actually. So that's a boon only one way because Shiva doesn't need to go and eat along with the demigods. This is there actually. Shiva is not given portion. Huh? Yeah. Everything happens out of the final controller is Vishnu. So we'll continue, huh? No? I will read few slokas in this chapter, not the seven. This is everything like Kailash is enough description. Then few important points are there that I will just touch. 34 sloka, come to 34. 3-4 slokas I will jump. सनन्दनाद्यैर्महासिद्धैः शान्तैः शशान्तविग्रहम् उपास्यमानं सख्या च भर्त्रा गुह्यक रक्षसाम्. Lord Shiva sat there. That means they traveled that Saugandha forest. They traveled over and then finally they reached to the one banyan tree. Under that banyan tree, Lord Shiva is sitting actually. So that tree is completely peaceful because on the tree there are no birds' nest. So that's why it's no chirping and nothing. And it's a very peaceful tree. And under the tree, Shiva is sitting. Lord Shiva sat there, surrounded by saintly persons like Kuvera, the master of Guhyakas, and the 4 Kumaras who were already liberated souls. Lord Shiva was grave and saintly. How he was sitting? He was sitting in the Padmasana. So putting this feet on this thigh and that upper cross cross-legged actually, with the thighs on the feet on the thighs. Like that, he was sitting with the mudra also. With the Gnana Mudra, he was sitting. So, Vidya Tapo Yoga Pata Mastitam Tamadishwaram Charantam Vishwasuhridam Vatsalya Lokamangalam. The demigod saw Lord Shiva situated in his perfection as the master of the senses, knowledge, fruitive activities, and the path of achieving perfection. He was the friend of the entire world, and by virtue of his full affection for everyone, he was very auspicious. Lingam cha tapasabhishtam bhasmadanda jatajinam angena sandhya rucha chandra lekham cha bipratam. He was seated on a deer skin and was practicing all forms of austerity because his body was smeared with ashes. He looked like an evening cloud. On his hair was the sign of half moon, a symbolic representation. Next, Upavishtam Darbamayyam Brusyam Brahma Sanatanam Naradaya Provachantam Pruchate Shrunvatam Satam. He was seated on a straw mattress and speaking to all present, including the great sage Narada, to whom he specifically spoke about the absolute truth. Here, Vishwanath Chakravarti and Acharya saying what he told? Bhakti. Therefore, the supreme subject matter of Vedic knowledge is Bhakti. They were discussing Narada, and along with Narada, Shiva is discussing about Bhakti topic actually. So here Narada was asking Lord Shiva about devotional service, and Shiva, being the topmost Vaishnava, was instructing him. This is the thing. Next, Krutvorau Dakshino Savyam Pada Padmam Cha Januni Bahum Prakoshte Kshama Kshamalam Asinam Tarka Mudraya. His left leg was placed on the right thigh and his left hand was placed on the left thigh. In his right hand, he held the Rudraksha beads. This sitting posture is called Virasana. He sat in the Virasana posture and his finger was in the mode of argument. That means Gnana Mudra.
Yeah, holding.
Tarka Mudra.
Argument is like this.
Tarjini with the Angushta is there in the commentary. That
Holding the beads also and talking.
Tarka Mudra, na? Where in one hand he is holding the mala, and another hand he is doing in the mudra. So, okay, mudra. So,
I was thinking just like we take the mala and talk.
Tarjini Angushta. Tayoho. The reciters of the mantra recites the Tarka Mudra as placing it is forefinger and the thumb. This together while spreading the other fingers. This is Gnana Mudra, Tarka Mudra. Okay. So next, tam Brahma Nirvana Samadhi Masritam Vasritam Girisham Yoga Kaksham Salokapala Munayo Manuna Adyam Manum Pranjalaya Pranayimuhu. All the sages and the demigods headed by Indra offered their respectful obeisances unto Lord Shiva with folded hands. Lord Shiva was dressed in saffron garments and absorbed in trance, thus appearing to be the foremost of all the sages.
Now that Sati is not there, he has put on Sati.
I don't know.
Never see Lord Shiva's saffron.
Yeah, Prabhupada actually, yeah, there's color can be many things probably. So here, what is that? Salokapala Muniyam. What is that? What is what? There is no Sanskrit word. Yoga Kaksham. Kaksham. I'm for the right actually. We don't know that. Satu ततुपलभ्यागतमात्मयोनिं सुरासुरैरभिवन्दिताङ्घ्रिः उत्थाय चक्रे शिरसाभिवन्दनम् अर्हत्तमः कस्य यथैव विष्णुः. So now all the demigods who are following the Brahmaji, they all pay obeisance to Shiva, but Shiva paid obeisance to Brahmaji actually. He stood up. Immediately Shiva stood up from his asana and he paid obeisances by his head only, just bending the head. Now Shiva's lotus feet were worshipped by both the demigods and the demons, but still, in spite of his exalted position, as soon as he saw Lord Brahma was there among all the other demigods, he immediately stood up and offered him respect by bowing down and touching his lotus feet, just as Vamanadev offered his respectful obeisances to Kashyapa. तथा परे सिद्धगणा महर्षिभिर्ये वै समान्तादनु नीललोहितं नमस्कृतः प्राह शशाङ्कशेखरं कृतप्रणामं प्रहसन्निवात्मभूः. All the sages who are sitting with the Lord Shiva, such as Narada and others, also offered their respectful obeisances to Lord Brahma. After being so worshipped, Lord Brahma, smiling, began to speak to Lord Shiva. Now Brahmaji is speaking. What he is saying, you see. जने त्वमीशं विश्वस्य जगतो योनि बीजयो शक्ते शिवस्य च परं यत्तत् ब्रह्म निरन्तरं. This is the sloka I want to clarify. So Lord Brahma said, my dear Lord Shiva, I know that you are the controller of the entire material manifestation, the combination of father and mother of the cosmic manifestation, and the supreme Brahman beyond the cosmic manifestation as well. I know you in that way. He is saying that what Brahmaji is saying, you are the Brahman. You are the supreme Brahman. And also what he is saying? Father and mother. That means Jane Tvam Isham Vishwasya Jagataha Yoni and Bija. That means you are the Bija and you are the Yoni. That means you are the Shiva and you are the Shivasya Shaktisya Param. That means you are beyond the Shiva and Shakti. That's the point actually. So here Brahmaji is glorifying Shiva as you are beyond the Shakti and Shiva. Means what? So here Acharya's commentary, we have to see. This is what kind of this worship. Here Vaishnava Saiva Mata, based upon the Saiva Mata, Brahmaji is also worshipping Shiva here. According to Saiva Mata, how they worship Shiva? They see Shiva as supreme. Like Vishnu, sometimes we worship as you are cause of all causes. Like we see Vishnu as Krishna or not. And worship. Similarly here, this Shiva is seen as Sadasiva. And that's why he is seeing Sadasiva in him and saying that you are the cause of Shiva and Shakti. Sloka number 40. This. It's 41. Jiva Goswami writing in the Kramasandarbha. Tatra Siva Saiva Matamastritya Sarva Paratvena Stauti. Brahmaji is following the Saiva Mata. Based upon the Saiva Mata, he is glorifying Shiva as superior to everything. That means Bijam and also Yoni, both. In that way. Actually, Vishnu is a Bijam and Yoni. And everything he is. But here, Brahmaji is saying Shiva as Bijam and Yoni and he is beyond the Shakti and Shiva. This is in whose Mata it is? Shaiva Mata. So now Brahmaji also following Shaiva Mata and he is worshipping. Like that. Shaivaha kalu bhagavat prakruti purushan sadashiva rupatvena manyante. Shaiva, what they believe? Shaivas believe that Prakriti and Purushas as Prakriti Purushan Sadasiva Rupatvena. They see Prakriti Purusha are the extensions of Sadasiva. For the Saivas, who is the supreme personality of Godhead? Sadasiva, and they see Prakriti and Purusha as his manifestation. So Tvam Vishwasya Prakruta Aprakruta Lakshanasya Sarvasya Eva Isham Sadasiva Rupam Jane. That means Sadasiva's form only this form. This Shiva is nothing but Sadasiva only. His form only this. So like that, Brahmaji is seeing in Shiva, whom he is seeing? Sadasiva he is seeing. And that Sadasiva is, according to Saiva Matas, he is the cause of everything. So now we have seen, so Saivites all are Pashandis. When they will be Pashandis? If they think Sadasiva is independent of Krishna, if they think, then that's a false. But if they see Sadasiva is a extension of the Krishna only, it is also another manifestation of Krishna only. If they see, then they are Vaishnavas. Then they are okay. Then they are not Pashandis. Otherwise, all the Saivas are Pashandis. Okay.
That will quote Brahmā. And Saivas they can
Yes. Yes. They can quote. And in the Skanda Purana, also many places it is said that whatever the Vakyas which are negating the supremacy of Vishnu, that Shiva himself is saying not to consider. In Skanda Purana.
Not to consider.
Those statements which are negating the supremacy of Vishnu. Only in one sense, yeah. So Sadasiva is superior to the entire, that means Shakti and Shiva, and he is the cause of everything. There is no doubt in that. But if they see this much only, and if they don't understand, so on top of this, then Shiva himself is saying reject to that. And they are seeing on contrary, Vishnu is inside this material world, and for him also Sadasiva is the cause. If they see like that, then that is not valid actually. Anyway, that's why to summarize all the statements of all the Puranas, that's why Vyasadeva wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a commentary on all the Vedanta Sutras. So, but to gain the faith on that people, actually what happens in Brahmaji's days also, some days are Sattvika, some are Rajasika, some are Tamasika. So in those days, so Lord's Tamasika form, like Shiva is also Tamoguna Avatara only, na? That's Guna Avatara. So in one sense that in those days, Tamasika form of the Lord's Vishnu, the supreme truth. So that means that Guna Avatara is more prominent, and in the time of that, in those kalpas, that form is worshipped as supreme. And stories based upon that Leelas are compiled as Tamasika Puranas. It is said in the Matsya Purana, like this. So that's why in this way Puranas are categorized. But ultimately, because that time, that kalpa is Tamasik kalpa, then that form only will be the prominent. Of course, at that time also some worshippers of the Vishnu will be there, but prominence is that. Era is going on actually.
These kalpa is
Saraswata kalpa.
means Sattvic.
Mixed.
Kalpa has all three. Morning one.
Inside once again. Like in the Kali Yuga, Satya Yuga, like that. Goodness, passion, grace. Combinations. No. Brahmaji's prayer is true only, na? That's true. Sadasiva is superior. But Brahmaji's understanding is what? This Sadasiva is also manifestation of Vishnu. He is glorifying as per Saiva Mata, but it doesn't mean that they know Brahmaji is Pakhandi. Because he has right understanding. So here you see, seeing Shiva as Sadasiva as creator of everything is wrong thing. It's not wrong thing. It is wrong thing when you see he is only the ultimate. But if you see he is a Sadasiva and he is a manifestation of the Vishnu, then that's right only. In that sense, they are worshiping. He is glorifying.
Iskcon also on public forums presents this kind of opinion. That Shiva is a expansion of Sadashiva, and how Sadashiva is beyond Purusha and Word.
Yes.
There will be less conflicts.
Yes, yes. Yes. Okay, so now after glorifying like this, we are running out time. So I'm just summarizing, okay, finally. Already, what Brahmaji is saying to him. You can see, Brahmaji is just asking that, my dear Lord, you are the creating the manifestation. Like this, like according to the Saiva Mata, he was glorifying. Then after that, he is saying that you only created the Dharma Artha Kama. That means Dharma is created by you. Dharma means karma. So created by you, and to propagate that. So that means Varnashram system is you are institutionalized the Varnashram system. Then for that we need a leader. And now the next sloka actually in the 45. So you are that means the most auspicious Lord. You have ordained heavenly planets, spiritual Vaikuntha, impersonal, and so, who are miscreants. So for hells, everything you created, like that he glorifies. Finally, what is the intention of the Brahmaji? Just he is asking, make the Dakṣa alive. Okay. Any doubts? Oh, fruitive activities to continue, he needs. My dear Lord, if in some places materialists who are already bewildered by the insurmountable illusory energy of the Supreme Godhead sometimes commit offenses, a saintly person with compassion doesn't take this seriously, knowing that they commit offense because they are overpowered by the illusory energy. He doesn't show his prowess to counteract them. So that means he's asking to forgive them, and they are out of ignorance they committed offenses towards you. Please, so like that he requests forgiveness and also making them to alive. Then what is the response? Like you see, he's saying that, my dear Lord, by your mercy, the performers of sacrifice Dakṣa may get back his life, Bhaga may get back his eyes, Bhrigu his mustache, and Pusha his teeth. O Lord Shiva, may the demigods and priests whose limbs have been broken by your soldiers recover from the injuries by your grace. O destroyer of the sacrifice, please take your portion of the sacrifice and let the sacrifice be completed by your grace. But he is not going to give everything actually. He is not going to give his head as it is, but all the partially he gives it. Thus end the Bhakti and the purpose of fourth canto, sixth chapter of Brahma sacrifice. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nitai Gaur Premanand. Not much is left over, only few purports. Okay, that's you all read. So seventh chapter, I think Prabhuji will come and take. Or otherwise, I think it's
4.6.31 you ran very fast. Last 23 verses.
no, these verses really much is not there actually. But main point is Saiva Matam. That's how Brahmaji worshipped Lord Shiva. What is the mood? That is the main clarification. That main point we touched. And remaining things are just he is asking. So you started the karma marga, and you please make sure that to continue by the making alive the Dakṣa. That's the main point. So it will be easy. Actually, his Prabhuji's target is 7 chapters, but we couldn't finish 7 chapters. So 6 chapters we can say. Exam will not be there. Okay. I don't know. Exam will be that Prabhu knows.